Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Create security group. So it can be asked in a molded way what is attached to create the user based security group. Then you will be thinking, now that you are thinking, what is the task to create the user based, because the person has inserted that particular word user based security group. So you should not be confused by that particular molding of the words and all. It creates security group. It is the only task to create any kind of security group. And under that, you will have the options of various security group that you want to create. So under that, we will select the user based security group. And if you want to create and the concerned security group, we are going to select it. So we have already created it. So I will just show you. It's a kind of with recap. And so by this way, see, I have created, because this is a training tenant. So that's why I always tell everyone to have your prefix with whatsoever configuration you are creating so that you can find your own configuration easily. Like I have found it, my security group on GitHub. So I will click on. And this is a security group that I have created. User-based security group is always unconstrained. That day, we have discussed a lot on unconstrained and constrained security group. Now, what do you mean by this? Administered by security groups. I have mentioned a security administrator. What do you mean by this? Why I have mentioned the security admins? I have told you that day. Win access is only available for the security group. No, it's by the word administered by security groups. Just go by this particular word. Don't go by security administrator. Administered by security groups. That means I'm a child security group. This is the security group that can assign the user based security group. It means if I want to assign this in Keter Total Reward Administrator group to anyone. So who can assign it? The person who is having the security administrator access can assign it. If I'm going to mention any other security group here, for example, HR partner, that means they're only the HR partner. The person who is having the HR partner access can assign this uncle total reward administrator security group. That means the group that is we are mentioning here can administer. Administer means can add or remove, can do whatsoever he want on this particular security group. He can only assign the security group or remove the security group. From that, any kind of policy, only security administrator, who is the person who is having the security administrator access, can only remove or add or assign this particular security group, user basic order group. If I believe this particular thing blank administered by security group, then no one can assign this security group to this. For example, now I am having the security administrator group. So I can go ahead and assign this particular user based security group to any person. What is the task to assign the user based security group? Assign user based security group. And I'm not having access. I don't have access for it. This training tenant. So this is the task. See, just now you are seeing the task. Assign user to user based security group. That means once I will click on this task. See, this is the task. Assign users to user based security group. Once I will click on the task, a tab will get open, and in that tab I can mention, for example, I want to assign to Jacqueline this Ankita underscore total administrator group, reward administrator group. So I will just simply mention Jacqueline name and I will click on. Now Jacqueline will be having the access of this Ankita underscore total reward administrator security group. What kind of access this total reward administrator security group is having? This particular security group can view and modify the staffing action, termination details. This particular security group can access or can view and modify the staffing actions, that is termination details. That day, we have defined it for the domain security policy. We have edited the domain security policy and we have added this particular security group in that domain security policy. So always remember these two tasks: view security, a create security group, view security group, and for user based security group, what is the task you will be using to assign the user? It's assigned users to user based security group. When this particular security group will be used whenever you have or you hear a question like only a particular user needs to have access for this particular termination details. In that case, we are going to use this user-based security group creation. Any story or any case study, if the interviewer is asking you, like we can say that I want a CEO of the company. For example, CEO will be one only for that company. I want the CEO of the company to have access to stocks. Only CEO can edit the stocks, or he can only add or remove the stocks. In that case, what kind of security group you would suggest need to create for this particular scenario? So clearly, the case told that. The story tells us that a particular user needs access to a particular domain. That means that particular stock, addition or the remover of the stock. So only a particular user is involved. Where you see that or you hear that any particular we are discussing only about a particular user, automatically it should come up to your mind that it's going to be user-based security group. That means only a particular user needs access to that particular security group or to that particular domain. In that case, we are going to create user-based security group. So related to security, definitely you're going to mention it in your resume and they will ask you what kind of security groups you have created. Your answer should be to user-based security group. I have created user-based security group. I have created role-based security group, job-based, organization-based and rule-based security group. So now next question from him will be some kind of story like I have just not told you that this is the case, only CEO wants to access the stocks. In that case, what kind of security group you will be suggesting me to create? Now next topic, we are going to next security group. We are going to discuss his role-based security group. Now what is role-based security group? We have discussed that. Some questions? See, you talked about user-based and then how to do the user-based side we will see. First, we will create all the security group. And then I will show you how you are going to change the domain security or business process security. The day when we were discussing the business process template, I've already told you domains are Workday delivered. Always remember, we are not going to change the domains. We cannot change the domains. We cannot edit the domains. It's Workday delivered only. Just what we can do is we can modify their security. Like business process type is delivered by Workday. But we can go ahead and change the business process policy. We cannot add or remove any business process type. It's Workday delivered. Neither we can add nor we can remove. Always remember this thing. They can ask you question on these simple terminologies. So just remember the thing that you cannot add or remove the domain. Also, you cannot add or remove the business process type. It's all Workday delivered. You can only play with the security. Now, coming back to our next type of security group is role-based security group. We have discussed that day. What do you mean by role-based security group? Can anyone give me a quick recap of the same? Like, what do you stand by role-based? Just go by the word. It means the name of the security group. Role-based security group. The role-based security group is based on which role you are playing as a manager or a CMM manager or a VP, correct? Correct. The role that you are doing, the role which you will tag for you. Yes, and that is where this role-based security group will be assigned. It would be assigned to your positions. Always remember that. Role-based security group, the designation or the role which is being assigned to the particular users. Now they can ask you a question. It means always remember role-based security group will always be assigned to position. It will be only attached with the position only. They can ask you a number of questions around this kind also. Suppose we have terminated the employee and whether the roles we also get finished, or if we have moved for example, if we have moved the employee from one organization to another organization, will the roles can also move along with the person or the employee? No, it will not move because it will not be used as a specific choice, because that role is assigned to the position, not to the person. If you are going to move the person here and there in the organization, roles won't keep moving. Only person can move here and there. So always remember that role-based security group is assigned to the point. This is one example that I have told you. They can move stories around this. So just remember the main concept behind the creation of the security group, that where the security group has been created. So that day we have discussed about the secure, we have seen the manager, the role-based security group of them, manager. Now we are going to create a role-based security group. How we are going to create, the task is going to be, the remains to be the same, create role-based security group. So we had seen no one has. So create security group and then now role-based security group. So before going here with the role-based security group is going to be the constraint one. So we are going to assign this role-based security group to our organization. So now under which tab, how we are going to assign it to the organization. Our organization, always remember before creating your role-based security group, create, maintain assignable roles. Remember this task maintain assignable role task. I will tell you the relevance why I am creating this. Now I have created the role security group. So now I am assigned this security group to my supervisory organization. So under which role name I am going to assign my security group. So that comes here, that comes from here. Maintain assignable role is the task. I am going to create, for example, I am going to create a Kita manager. Now, for which this security group is being enabled, for where I am going to assign this, whether I am going to assign it as at my company or my supervisory organization or somewhere else. So I am going to assign it at my supervisory level. And then assign by security group. Who can assign this security group? Assigned or reviewed by security group. Who can assign my security group? Usually all kind of security group. We are only security. We are just giving the access only to the security administrator, whether it is going to be user based security group, whether it is going to be role based security group. So, regarding user-based security group, where we have assigned the security group when we were creating the user-based security group under the tab administered by the security group, under there, we have given the security administrator. But for the role-based security group, under which role name we are going to assign our role-based security group, that is going to be on Kita underscore manager, is going to be our role name. And for whom I have enabled it, for supervisor. I can also enable it for company or company hire or anyone I wanted. And the third thing that we are concerned about is security administrator. That means only the security administrator can assign this particular security group. The person who is having the security administrator by default. I have a town. This Kita manager is in line with your HR manager or your position manager. I will tell you, just give me some time. Before creating any kind of role-based security group, you have to remember you have to create a maintain assignable role. Because under which role name you are going to assign your particular security group. Just remember this line. Why we are creating the role name is under this particular role name, we are going to assign our role-based security group. So whenever role-based group creation requirement is there for you, just remember with the same name. If I am going to create a Kita underscore manager as my role-based security group with the same name, you have to create a role name under the maintain assignable role. No one is going to tell you. No one is going to tell you. But you, as a consultant, you should know that whenever you are going to create role-based security group, you have to create a maintain assignable role. Because when I am giving training to training, usually employees forgot to assign this maintain assignable roles, and then they struggle in assigning the role-based security group. So this is one prerequisite you have to define before creating your role-based security group. And always remember, whenever you are creating anything, whether it's going to be a client, your testing environment or anything, or your training internet, you are going to assign security administrator as the admin of any group. That means only the person who is under security administrator can assign these roles until and unless your client comes up and say that no, I don't want security administrator for this particular role. I want security partner to assign this particular security role or someone else. Usually security administrator. I have seen it for my client as well. Even when I am working, I am seeing security administrator in most of the cases. I haven't seen anything else, but yes, you should know the relevance of this. Assigned or reviewed by security groups. Only the person who is having the security administrator can assign or remove the group security group that we are going to create. That's the reason behind assigning this particular group. Now I will show you where this maintain assignable role will come into picture when we are going to create the group. I am going to create manager group for my organization, role-based security group. That's going to be the role-based security group. Now, here you see that assignable role. Here comes that question, why we have created the assignable role. That means, see, Ankit and Dasko manager have created the assignable role. When I am going to assign this Ankit and Dasko manager, I am going to assign Ankit and Dasko manager to my supervisory organization. I will see this particular Ankit and Dasko manager role there. I will show you where. Now, these are the things who are going to have access to the organizations. Applies to current organization only. Whenever I am going to assign this role and Ankit and Dasko manager to my organization, then automatically it will be applied to current organization and unassigned subordinates. Applies to current organization and all subordinates. I am going to select this. It's going to affect it on my current organization where I am going to assign it and it will be inherited by all subordinates. I want this to happen. Usually this will happen in any of the organizations. Now here assign rights to multiple job works. We are not going to look into the multiple job means concurrent employment. We have already discussed it. But yes, by looking at the word itself, know that role has access to the positions. The support means whose whatsoever positions they are supporting. For example, one employee. I have hired Ankit and then I have hired Pravina also as well. Finkit is working on corporation. 50% Ankit is working in the executive and then the same is applicable to Pravina. Now, if I am assigning this Ankit underscore manager, then in that case it will support both the positions. Ankit and Dasko manager is going to be the manager for both the position, whether it's going to be executive. Ankit is working for executive or Ankit is working for the corporation. But if I am going to select this role for primary job has access to all positions, then in that case my primary job is going to be under the corporation one. Then Ankit, then who is going to be only for the corporation department. So this is something that is dealt for the concurrent employment and you are not concerned about the concurrent employment or multiple jobs. You can state forward, say that if Intuit is asking you, I haven't worked for the multiple jobs or the concurrent employment, and my client doesn't support the concurrent employment or then I have also told the same. Why? The reason is because multiple job has many effects. They can ask you a number of questions. If you say that we have worked on the multiple jobs or the concurrent employment, it has many effect on the payroll. It has many effect on the compensation, deciding of a salary or something like that. How your alliance plans is going to divide or something like that. So don't go ahead with this multiple job or corruption. Neither they are interested in it. So this is how your role-based security group will be created. I will click on and that is done. So that day we have discussed about we have seen the manager role-based security group and it was working. We have seen what all domains or what all business process the manager has the access for. If you want, you can go ahead and look at the various security groups. Go ahead and explore this security group of so similarly we have created. You will see that whenever you try opening any of the security group, you can view that. What kind of security group is it? It is written just above on the tab. It's going to be role-based security group, and we also know that we have discussed a lot on this. See, all these options are there. A signable role is manager. Manager has access to these managed domains. Even we are also going to define the access for the domains first. We are going to discuss all kind of roles. Now, next, what we are going to discuss is next type of role. What we are going to discuss a job-based security group. Now, the same task is their security group. What do you mean by job-based security group? By looking at the word itself, can anyone tell me what do you mean by job-based security group? We have discussed two role-based user base. We have also discussed these two on the side itself. Now can anyone tell me by looking at the word job-based security group? It is the kind of job. It is the kind of job. It is simple, straightforward. The kind of job characteristics that we are having. So I'm going to create job-based security group. Now, what kind of job profile or what kind of compensation or management level you want them to apply, or you want that job-based security group to be there? So now on Kita and let's go. I want this job profile to be applicable for job family that I have created. On Kita, so I want this job-based security group to be available for on Kita underscore manager. This is the profile that we have created. So for this particular job profile, whoever is having this particular job profile on Kita underscore manager will have access for the job-based security group. Now, if I am selecting here the management level, then for example, I am going to select Director Vice President and Executive Vice President. If I have selected this, that means all the Director, Vice President and Executive Vice President are eligible for the job-based security group. We can assign the job-based security group to them. Correct. Everyone with me? If you have questions out here on Kita, can you repeat this one? See, what we are going to do is this is a kind of job-based security group that is based on a particular job criteria, whether it's going to be job profile or job category, job family, or management level. Anyone means, for example, whoever is director, vice president, or executive, like I have selected this. So anyone from this will be eligible for we can assign this particular on Kita underscore job based security group to them. Only to these persons. If I have given this criteria, if I have given the job profile as on Kita underscore manager, that means all the person who are having the on Kita underscore manager will be eligible for this particular job based security group. So this is a restrictions or this is a criteria that I have given to my job based security group. I mean, can you give an example with respect to job and role? Like what exactly means how it is indifferent from your role? Like role has been tagged to a manager or that person and basis that the security group is called. It is being tapped with specific criteria for job profile. The person who was having on Kita underscore manager job profile to them. I can assign this on Kita underscore job based security group. So that is being defined, that is being assigned to your organization or to your position directly. They are going to assign it to your position. Once we will assigning the security group, then it would be more clear to you. Now we are creating security groups. So just note the purpose, why we are creating the security group. It is this particular security group for an active worker only if the worker's job criteria match the criteria. For example, I am hiring a Pravina under my Ankita Corporation. For example, assuming it and her job profile is under worker manager. So in that case, she will have this particular job based security group assigned to it. She will have access for this particular job based security group. Usually, we are not using these all security group. We are going to use only role based and your rule based security group that we will be discussing after the security group. Usually, we are only using role based and rule based security group. But as a part of our interview questions, they can ask you, what do you mean by job based security group? In that case, your answer should be like, whenever we are going to assign or we are going to assign the security group, whenever there is a requirement to create a security group based on the job criteria or any kind of criteria based on the management level or job characteristics, then we are going to create this job based security group. For example, let's take an example because most of it you're talking about job based, but let's take an assignment, not an assignment instead of job based for VP and directors. They need 10 Scrum Masters. So that's a job based. So they need 10 Scrum Masters for directors and VP. So how would you create this security group? So Anjita underscore Scrum Masters is a group name. Yes, and then I will assign the management levels. So instead of job based, I would say Scrum Masters, and then I'll select the management level and apply to organization type. I would select what? I'm going to select my supervisory because I'm going to assign it at my supervisory level. If you're going to assign at your company level, then it will be. If the requirement has a company, then you're going to select the company or company hierarchy. Usually, what will happen is we are not going to create a number of security groups. Usually we'll create only rule-based or rule-based security group. Rule-based will be directly assigned to the positions and rule-based means. We will be discussing it further. Then you will come to know that why we are creating all these things, and because you should know the concept behind the security group, why this security group is there. In our client, you are only going to create the rule-based and rule-based security group. So now I'm going to create this and I'm going to click on. Now next on A, we are going to create the most important one. That is the one that usually I have created. In fact, for my client, I can say that the one that we are going to create is rule-based security group. Rule-based security group means whenever I have a requirement, for example, my client will come and say me that's something that has rule within it. I want to create a security group that the directors and above, or sorry, managers and above will have access to, and only the employees from USA will have that particular rule-based security group as a. So in that case, usually they will have these kind of requirement only. We are creating either rule-based or rule-based security group. So the task is going to be the same, create security group, and then it's going to be rule-based. See, I know that security topic is little bit confusing, and plus we haven't deal with the security group. Or sorry, we haven't deal with the security topic in any of the ERP system. Only in Workday Core H. CMAM consultants are going to look into the security things. Mostly, security is Workday driven. Within Workday, even meta dilemmas, and you can say that your domains, business process type, everything is Workday delivered. But just we are going to play around with the access, what kind of access our client has required, or if they want to create any custom-based, custom security group or not. So, and once I will give you the case study in that whole picture will be there, means whole case study will be there, how you are going to create the organization and what's where you are going to use that security group. Now we are working on the bits and pieces. If implementation will come to you, you don't know that from where to start and how to start it. Now you know that fine, I can create supervisor organization, I can create a company hierarchy, cost center hierarchy, security group, business process. But what's the relevance? How you are going to link it with the implementation? It would be covered under your case study when I'm going to give you the case study, full case study. So before that, we should know how we are going to create security group, how we are going to assign it, and how we are going to hire the employee. Then only you will be able to catch up with the case study. I can say that. Now going by this, coming back to our rule-based security group, what is going to be the baseline security group here? Can anyone tell me? Security admin sector. Yes, correct. So security administrator is going to be our baseline security group, or you can also give anything if there is a specifically mentioned by your client. It's not hard, and hard means it's not hard coded that we are going to get the administrator. Now, what are members you want to include in your rule-based security group? If there is inclusion criteria given by your client, you are going to create your rule here. If they told that I don't want any employee from France to be included in this rule-based security group where access for this particular rule-based security group, then you are going to get the rule here. So now what I have the requirement is I have the requirement that the employees who are managers and above and who belongs to country USA are going to have access for this particular rule-based security group. So click on here and create your ruler security rule. What kind of security rule you want to follow? Is this object related bit difficult because anyhow you are going to have that security on your work currently. So Anketa underscore rule, security rule, I can say that I will also give you the activity documents today to create the various security group, and then it would be more clear to you because now you are only looking at my screen. If you have any condition, you can copy it from, or if you have any condition rule, you can simply enter it here and copy it, but I am going to create my own. Can anyone tell me what's going to be the security field here? My condition is the management level is starting from manager till a manager and above and management level. So the security field means I am going to create the rule, whether it is your business process security rule, whether it is going to be your compensation eligibility rules, or whether it is going to be your security rule. This is the third type of conditions that we are creating. See rule conditions. So just the name will change a source field from compensation field, then source field, and in business process we have source field, and security we have security field. So just the name will change, but the purpose will remain the same. We are going to select the field on which we have to create our security rule or the condition rule or anything. So now what is going to be the relation? Rule-based rule. Now you might have created many rules. If you have explored the tenant that you might, then you might have created many rules. So you should know what is going to be my relation candidate. See, it's already been created on Kitty Rune base because tenant got refreshed. So I can simply go to the edit security groups task that is used for the if I want to edit any security group. Now it's going to be any in the selection list. What is going to be my management levels? Selection is selection list. Selection is selection list. You can select multiple manager and now to be P. Manager and a product. Manager and a product. Say manager and director VP, someone has created one more director. So it's going to be all over the same. Both are same. VP and 2. Usually board of directors. We avoid it, but if you want to, can avoid it in an adjunct. And I push him. Here we can see that two letters, 2. Maybe you want to point to. You won't see it in your client tenant. You won't see it in because there's a training tenant. Someone might have created it. You won't see it in your client tenant. Training tenant, anything can happen. Even your development tenant also. There would be these kind of things that you will see duplication of the things. Duplication of the hire. Duplication of the management level. Someone has created it. We have no control over it, but in your production tenant and usually sandbox tenant, they all are refreshed. Sandbox tenants is refreshed weekly from the production tenant. On every Saturday, Sunday, it would be refreshed. So what's all changes you have done in your sandbox tenant will be removed or will disappear. Monday, the moment you logged in into your sandbox tenant, whatsoever client, you are working sandbox and it will be refreshed on every Saturday and Sunday with your production tenant data. So you will see these kind of discrepancies in your testing as well as in your training tenant. So all and even in the Workday deliver tenants, we do have some tenant that we have access of given granted from Workday itself. It is known as 1810 tenant. In that tenant also, all the things are scrambled. But when it is refreshed, then everything will be settled down. But refresh don't happen frequently for every tenant except Sandbox. And Sandbox tenants will be refreshed on every weekend. Always remember only Sandbox and will be refreshed with the production data on every weekend. So I'm going to select USA and this is my security rule condition. The employees who are having this management level and who are United States who have the location as United States of America will have these security groups. If you have any requirement from your client asking to exclude few based on some conditions, so in that case, you are going to select this and you are going to create that particular rule. That means if anything that is going to be mentioned here, if I'm, for example, I'm going to mention on Kitrender's cost security rule here, then all the members who are manager and above and who belongs to USA country will be excluded, won't have access to the security rule. Now, when you are going to create the rule-based chaotic group, whenever you see that you have some kind of rule conditions, like I have told you just now, two conditions. Client has given me two conditions and I'm going to enter those two conditions here. How I'm going to club those two conditions, whenever you have that kind of requirement, they are two types of conditions are being clubbed for the security group. Then in that case, you are going to create the rule-based security group. In that case, you are going to create the rule-based security group. Whenever you see that there are conditions that the client has mentioned, two types of conditions are there. So this is all about the 5 types of security groups. Our next topic is going to be security by functional areas. A functional area is a collection of domain or business process security policies that are related to the same set of product features. Just go line by line because this is quite theoretical part and I will show you within the tenant as well. The functional areas report will display all functional areas and included domains and business processes that are there for our reference is these. Here you can put filter on HCM. These many functional areas are available for HCM. Now, since we are considering the staffing, staffing means anything that is related to hiring, termination, change job, or anything such related to the staffing or the hiring of the employee related to the full employment cycle of that particular employee that we are going to consider it under the staffing. So you will see all kind of, if you are going to consider about the business processes, you can refer to the business process and the last tab and you will see that hire will be here. See hire is there, pre-hire is there, ready for hire. Everything that is related to the staffing, you will find the business processes here and the domains here. Even termination is also related to the staffing. Staffing you can consider is like a full employment life cycle. The moment he has applied for the job starting from the candidate perspective till you are hired in the system and then again you will undergo a lot of employment cycles for staffing related things, change job or location or anything related to that or termination is your last We can say that last staffing cycle of the employee within the organization. So even termination will also be here. See termination request, post-termination compensation. So all kind of business processes you will find here related to any of the financial area. If you want to refer in domains, you will find it on the second last column. If you want, you can go ahead and enable or you can disable it via the related action of that particular functional area. If we have access here, then it's good. Otherwise, usually we will have here functional area. Under the functional area, we will have the access to disable the particular functional area. But now in this tenant, we don't have that access. So yes, just remember that you can enable or disable the functional area, respective functional area, based on your client or requirement. If they want staffing to be definitely, staffing will be there. For example, if they want some time in payroll, they don't want some. Let's take an example of payroll, or let's take an example of benefits. If they don't want benefits to be a part of their implementation or their things, they can disable that particular functional area. So it entirely depends upon your client or requirement whether they want that particular functional area to be enabled or disabled within that tenant. So this is the report, just remember it, functional area report. I will give you a list of report that you need to memorize or you need to remember because they can ask you in the interview. They can ask you like which report you will be referring when you want to look for any of the functional area. So the report name is functional area. Just now I have shown you. So this is the report that we have already seen. Go and explore the various functional areas if you want. Basically, you will be working on the domain part only. Sorry, you will be working on the staffing functionality only. I have one about with respect to this one. Pot. Can you hear me, Ankita? Yes. Ankita means in this functional area, I have seen that there are around 53 business processes. So you are telling what are the business processes. We have covered in the last session all the business processes, including hire, ready to hire, termination, and job change. Everything will be part of this functional area as part of the staffing model. There will not be anything other than this. Nothing will be there. All the business process are covered in this functionality. Correct. If it is related to staffing, all the business process related to the staffing will be part of the process that will be mentioned there. If it is going to be payroll, then all the business process that would be related to that particular functional area will be mentioned there. If it is related to compensation, it would be there. You can explore it in this report. What all business processes compensation is dealing, what all business processes absence module is dealing with. So this is the one place where you can refer to all kind of business processes related to the specific functional area, and you will also get the domains there. You have seen that second last column was for domain, a column which around 200 domains are related to staffing. Yes. Angita, this is Saya. Sir, how do you disable the functional area for staffing or benefit or payroll? It was in that report. We don't have access for it. Go to the functional area and related action, and there you can enable or disable it. Related action, which tab in related action? In the staffing, I want to enable that staffing functional area. Go to the related section of the staffing. Because anyhow, we have not done any configuration with respect to benefits or like when you given an example from payroll, the benefit part. Correct. We have done the staffing. We have done the staffing because benefit is a separate module like payroll compensation absence. Core HCM is a basic. And apart from that, then the advanced modules are there, compensation, payroll benefits. So these are all different modules. So usually I haven't seen benefit module implemented within the Workday. Workday means the client that I have worked for. I haven't seen that benefit modules that they are using that because now they are just integrating with the third parties. So slowly and steadily they will go ahead with the benefits because payroll and benefits, these are the two modules that are yet to be explored by Workday. I can say that because in payroll there are only 4 countries and recent update to 2024 R1. In this recent update, we in March Workday has already deployed. It means deployed in the sense they have already released what all updates. They are going ahead with this release and they have released Australia payroll as well. So this is the 5th country that they are going to introduce and Workday is the untouched area of the payroll and it has for Workday. Now Australia. Payroll is the untouched area and it has lots of opportunities. Payroll, if you become an expert or if you got a good project within payroll, you are going to master it. No one is going to stop you within Workday because it's going to be there for next. Within 4 to 5 years, it's going to expand like a lot. So now coming back to our functional area. Here you can explore all the functional area. If you want to explore what all functional areas that they have been delivered. See why I am telling you. You might be thinking that I am doing the core HCM training and by Ashota is telling me about payroll absence. So what you can do is you can say whenever you are going to give interview, see, you can say that I have little bit exposure to payroll, like I have worked on the functional areas or related to the security of the payroll or related to the security of the compensation. I know that. What are the functional areas? So I was involved in little bit. I have little bit exposure to it. You can say that even when I have given my recent interview in one of the company. So what I have told is like I have little bit experience on recruitment, although I am certified in payroll and core HCM, but I have told them I have little bit experience on recruitment. Why I have told that? Because I have explored little bit business. So they asked me what you have done in the recruitment. So I told them I was involved in the testing of the recruitment and I have worked on few of the business processes like for ready for hire. I know that I have explored from this functional area report. I went to the compensation and I have explored few of the business processes related to recruitment like job application, job posting and ready for hire. These are all the business process of the recruitment module. So I simply tell them, and many of you are from HR background. You know that what all the things related to the recruitment, like the employer will apply from the external side or internally. Also, they apply within the recruitment and then they will go with the job application. They will go with the interview screening. So just explore the things. They just need a little bit information from you. Like that particular module, you have little bit exposure. So that's why I am telling you here and there as well, along with this. So you can, if you want, you can go ahead and explore the various functional areas. Their business processes related to you have tenant access. So with the tenant, you can do a lot. You can explore the tenant a lot, and I'm there if you want. I will be clearing your doubts. We have a lot of time after the security. We are going to deal with the things, and then we are still left with many classes, and I can just have your doubts clear if you want to explore more within the system. So now, talking about what is domain, just memorize this definition. Domain is a group of tasks and reports that are functionally similar. You know that domain means, for example, let's consider the termination one. That is temporary, one that has domain security policy associated with it. So termination reason, termination categories, all this comes under one that are different tasks and they have similar functionality. Termination. That is related to the termination. So domain is a group of tasks and reports that are functionally similar. Just memorize this definition domain. What do you mean by domain? They can ask you. Domain is a group of tasks and reports that are functionally similar, and then you can edit the domain security policy, but you cannot add or remove the domains. Always remember it's all work. They delivered, so you can only edit the security policy related to the domain. Just memorize this definition. Now, what about business processes? We cannot add or remove any business process type, but yes, we can edit the business process security policy. Always remember this. You cannot create new business processes type, but you can edit the business process security. What is business process? You know that series of steps that we will execute in order to achieve a business object. Now, domains are collection of related security items like, for example, actions report, report data source or class report fields. Each domain is secured by domain security policy, and Workday has preset the security items with each domain already. It's already done by Workday. Just we can edit the security, how we are going to look into that. So this is the task. Just note it down, domain security policies for functional area. Now I'm interested in the staffing because we are dealing with the staffing functional area. Open this and you will see all kind of domains related to the staffing functional area. I will go here. And if you want anything, if they want to edit anything like for working time, or if they want to edit anything related to the notice period rule, is scroll to the bottom and there you will see that. You can edit the business process security policy. For example, I want to do it for the staffing. I will go here and edit. Permission is there. I want to edit this business or for the domain security policy for staffing model. Then I will simply click on it, that particular domain, and then I will edit the permission. If I want to edit staffing or security policy for the organization, I will click on it and then I will edit the permission. If you want, what this particular domain does is you can say that change organization assignments for a worker or position in a business process. This particular domain do this particular action. Go ahead. If you click on this, edit permissions. I can add or remove any of the security groups based on my client requirement. I can go ahead and add it. Add the security groups. For example, yesterday we have created few security groups. I want that particular security group. For example, my client told me that I want Ankit Total Administrator HRR that we have created yesterday, Toto Reward. I want access for that. but that security group should access the organization part, or that security group should have access to change the organization assignments for a worker or position in a business process. So I will quickly go ahead and add it here. So I'm going to underscore total reward administrator. Now, so this, if I'm going to add it here, that means it will have access. It will have a modify access as well. If I'm going to add it here, it will only have the view, access, or you're going to add it. Click anywhere in the blank space. Add your security group that you have created, or the client is requesting to have access for that particular security group. You can add it here and you can see it here. Implementers is everywhere, because usually implementers should have access to everything. They should have access to edit. They should have access to change or add or remove anything, like they can do any action because they are going to hire the employees. Finally, so they should have access to change the organization assignments as well. So if you go and explore, I'm going to I have added my security group. I'm going to save it by clicking on. So that means my security group, I have added it here. See, Ankit underscore total reward administrator is here. So if you want, go ahead and check for various domains within the staffing. You can explore it here. See these many. Security group have access to each and rest. Everything is worked or delivered. Just you can edit the permissions only. You have seen it. We only have the authority to edit the permissions. Now you might have seen that I have added this. Is that the how you're going to update the domain security policies for functional areas clear to everyone, or do you have any questions regarding the same? Regarding the domain security policy updation, do you have any questions? So I will take the silence as no. I will proceed further now, since I have added the security policy, or security group. That means I have updated my security policies. Domain security policy. See here, domain security policies for functional area. I have edited the permission. I have updated something related to the policy. Always remember, whenever you have updated anything related to your security policy, whether it's going to be a domain security policy or your business security policy, you have to activate your security changes. Correct? Always remember I'm not talking about creation of the security group. If you have created a security group, it's fine. No need to activate the changes. But if you have changed anything related to the security policies, that means either domain security policy or business process security policy, you have to activate your security changes. Otherwise, it won't be effective. The changes won't be effective. The security changes won't be effective. So what is the task to do that? If you have changed the policy, activate. Pending security policy changes. Activate pending security policy changes is the task whenever you have updated any of the security policy, whether it's domain or your business process security policy changes. You have to see it is mandatory field. Red asterisk means it is mandatory field. You have to update the comment, make it as a habit whenever you are updating it for your reference. Only just mention it, like added Ankita. Just mention the name. I don't remember the exact name, so I have added Ankita underscore total security group. Staffing model policy domain. So just mention it for your reference. It's a good habit. Click on. And I have a question out here. So activate pending security policy when you're doing this. So to update the security policies, and for example, Kenwal is there or some other person is there. And he also done some security changes. But when you do this, will it affect their policies also? Yes, this is effective all over the desk, what I was about to say. If I select this confirm, I will click on anything. For example, I'm doing my stuff. And simultaneously, you are also carrying out some policy. You have also carried out the security policy changes by the time I will click on. And that means I'm going to confirm that my security changes should be effective. If you have done it, your changes will also become activate because it's a common tenant. Common tenant means even if you are going to work in your client as well. Then also, if you are going to activate this, it will get activated for all. So this is a task related to the tenant only. That's the reason why security administrator group is not assigned to everyone. It would be assigned at a high level only because playing with the security group or policy changes is not at all recommended. A single change in the security policy can have a very adverse effect. So only the implementers or some of the implementers or not. I can say that everyone, few of the persons will have the access to activate the pending security policy changes. So because at the starting itself, I have told you, if you have the security administrator group assigned to your name, then only you can add or assign the roles. So same is the case here with everywhere. If you have the security administrator role, then only you can add or assign the roles. One more query with you. Like, if suppose you are adding any of the HR partners or anything in the security group, when we add this to the particular, like for a job change, when we are trying to do it. That is a couple of the tasks for which we are not able to assign it to the specific HR partner or something like that which is mentioned, which was mentioned in the Word document. When we assign the HR partner for the specific task in this domain functional area, it will reflect that. No, that's business process security policy. We are going to discuss the same that you are talking about the business process. This is related to the domains. There is a difference between the business process and domain. Domain, I have shown you, for example, in the termination. Termination is a template-driven business process. Domination and change job. So in that is driven by domains that have domains. So we can control the domain security policies for there. Go to the view business process template and edit your domain security policy. But here what you are talking about is this. I was typing that only. You're talking like if I have this HR and I want this HR partner to have this change organized. So this is governed by business process security policy. Any security group that needs access for the business process to carry out the business process. That means you have to change the business process security policy. I will let you know business process security policy. Now that you have been done, now what we are discussing is the functional area domain security policy. If you make any changes with respect to the domain security, what will get impacted them? See, what will get impacted is, for example, we were carrying out the termination. There we were seeing the domains, various domains The termination reason, domination categories. Those are known as the domains. So that means if I am giving access to a termination reason to the HR partner, then only he or she can see that particular drop down for that reason. Otherwise, he or she cannot see that or she cannot modify that. She cannot enter anything. So that is known as domain, the securable items. We have discussed the definition as well. A group of tasks or reports that performs the same functions, same functions. That is known as the domain securable items. Business process means series of steps that we execute in order to achieve a business object. Come again, Anjita, come again. See, business process we understand. But regarding the domain security policy, can you want to come in? Domain means a set of securable items. Like for in domination, just take it as an example. There are various domains. It's template driven. There are various domains in the termination business when we are carrying out the termination action. For example, termination reason. We have to enter the termination reason when we are carrying out the termination action. We need to enter the category. So those are known as the domains. Correct. But business process means we are going to execute a series of actions or steps. Just compare. Just think whenever domain comes into your mind. Just consider that. I have shown you I was carrying out the termination. I know it's confusing, but just remember it. Likewise, whenever you are carrying out the termination, you know that you have to enter the reason. You have to enter the category. So those all things, you have to enter the termination date as well. You can select whether it is eligible for rehire or not, or whether you are going to block him for the rehire. Whenever you are carrying out the termination, you see that those particular small securable items that you need to fill up, so those are known as domains. If you are going by definition, domain is a securable item. That is a collection of similar kind of tasks and reports. And for instance, you can take the termination, one example that I have told you. So we can create business process for achieving a business object, and we can also use security policies, the domain security policies for our business process so that our business object is achieved. Is that got? So now, for example, talking about the business, we have shown that whenever you are changing the policy, you have to activate your pending security policy changes. Now coming to our business process security policy. This particular thing. Here, for example, let's have a requirement like proposed compensation hire needs to be approved by to, or this step needs to be actioned by Ankita_total reward administrator security group. Let's take it as an example. So Ankita_total administrator HR should take action on this particular proposed compensation. Hire action go. So what I have to do in order to take the action or related that I have to edit my business process and I have to add that particular security group in that particular step. That's what we are doing it. I have given you the access or means the sheet as well that HR partner needs to take action. That's what we have added it here. So what I will do is I will be dropped off and I will search for the Ankita total administrator group, but I cannot see no matter. So that means I have to add it to my business process security policy. Then only I can assign that particular security group here. Now these many security group have access to my higher business process on the higher Ankita corporation. These many now. I want to add Ankita Security Administrator group as well. What I will do is, I will cancel this first. I have to edit the business process security policy. I will cancel it. Either you can go by the task business process policy. For functional area, either you can go by this task, open it and search for the task. Staff. And then hire is my business process that I'm looking for. I want to edit it, click on. And then search for propose compensation higher. This is my task. What access I want? For this, I will edit the permission. Propose compensation. I'll edit the permission. Click on the proposed compensation or edit the permission. What is the requirement? Just go by the requirement first of all. What they want is they want Ankita Security Group to have access to initiate the proposed compensation higher. If they are asking you that Ankita Security Group should have access only to initiate the proposed compensation higher, then add it under the initiating action. See initiating action, proposed compensation higher. Click on anywhere blank, any blank space and add your particular security group. If you have created, it would definitely appear here. If the security group is created now, if they have told that I want access for the approved compensation chain, compensation higher, that particular security group should have access to approve the compensation higher. So where you have to add it, you have to add it under the approval tab, not under the initiation tab. Clicking there, that is for approval in higher business, on Kita's higher business. In that, what I have done is I have opened this task. This is one way of adding it. So we are discussing the first way. Business process, security, policy or functional area is the task. And if you want, I can open it again. It will ask you for the functional area staffing and then what business process I want higher. If you want termination, you can enter termination instead of fire. So since I know that proposed compensation higher, they have already mentioned that proposed compensation higher and that higher business process should have access or Ankita should have access for the proposed compensation higher. I will go to the proposed compensation higher task. Only click on the task. Do not click on any sub-process. Automatically, if you open on the parent sub-process and edit permissions, scroll down edit permissions similar way like you have done for the domain. Now, as per our requirement, it should have access for the initiation of the proposed compensation higher. Only I will enter it as Ankita here and I can just click on and my security group will get saved. If they ask you that the Ankita security group should have access for review compensation higher, then you are going to enter it here, your security group here. If they told that it should have access to the approval of compensation higher, then you have to approve it. Enter that particular security group here. So it is entirely dependent upon your requirement. What kind of requirement you have in your business process, you are going to add your security group in that particular action only now. We are going to be sorry to interrupt you. Yes, the when you have gone to your business process, hire business process. In that we have made a proposed compensation and we have added that Ankita underscore total reverse. That is what exactly means that comes under what initiate action or approval or what is the initiation action of proposed. It is written here. No, this is initiating action there in that business process which we have created for hire, in that we have selected HR partner and then we are trying to search for Ankita. It was not there and that's why we came here to add that one. Yes, that step means that is initiate action or approval that is initiated. Only someone will initiate that. Proposed compensation hire. And then there will be a sub process of approval and also yes. So when you go for that sub process, then you have to go for the proposed. If suppose anybody has suggested for a proposed based in, then you have to change it here and sub process. If suppose anyone has sub process to approve that one, the final approval, then you will add to that. Correct? Correct. And if suppose there is no sub process, then it will not show you any other details. It will show only immediate action. It won't show me if there is no sub process. It won't show your sub process here also. So it entirely depends upon the business process that you are dealing or task that you are dealing with. If the task is triggering any sub process, then you will have that. So many things initiate action, then approval and all the stability. If there is no sub process, then definitely it will not show. It will show only immediate action. Correct, correct. So now, since I want to see if anyone tells you and comes to you and tells you that I want to have access for change organization assignment and get a security group to have access for change organization assignments, then where you will go? You will open the business process security policy functional areas. Enter enter staffing as a functional area and then hire as your business process. And then you will go to the change organization assignments. Correct? And then under the initiation task, you will add it. Initiation of change organization assignments. You will add that particular group, like I have added it for the proposed compensation hire, for example. If I want to add it for the change organization assignments, I want to have Ankita access for the change organization, and I will click on hire and then change. All the tasks will be here. If you will cross-check with the business process configuration option report, all the tasks that are there for hire, business process type will be here as well, because every task will have their own security. So I will go by the change organization assignment. I will click on it and I will add it under the initiation action of the change organization assignment. Now, since I have added it now, it should be visible here and I should be able to assign my Ankita security group under my proposed compensation hire. So I will go again back to the any patch run or anything like that, or it will directly reflect like last time when we are doing that QK, whatever we have added in the domain policy to reflect it. We have to run that one for business process. We don't have to do that one or one. What thing? No. So security policy, I was expecting this from you, correct? That means you guys are attentive in the class. So activate pending security policy changes. Correct. We have to activate because since we have done, whether you are going with edit the business process, security policy or domain, you have to activate your pending changes. Then only see here, if I will go back and I will search for Ankita, I won't be able to see that security group till now, since although I have added it there, but still I'm not able to see it. Why? because I have to activate, and this is the main thing that consultant will look for, means they will get, oh, I'm not able to see my security group. What's the reason? But it's a simple task. Only we know that now and we are dealing with it. Even I also used to forget it at the start when I started my career here in Workday, when I also used to forget it to activate, because here we are simply adding one. See, it will give you that description as well whenever you are going to confirm it. Business process type A, proposed compensation higher. Last change, we have chosen a description, but domain doesn't give that description. No, it was there. We haven't crossed it that time, but it was there. Try activating it, adding your security group. It will be there. So now, what a SI has asked a query that you get. Somebody else has also added some more tasks to it, and everything was pending. So we can know those other tasks which we are approving on. It would be there. It would be there. Then it's not like that kid blindly, we are approving it. So earlier we were not able to see my security group here. Now, since I've activated my security policy, changes. I was able to look into my Ankita underscore total reward administrator. I was able to assign my security group here. Now I will click on and I can save my security. Changes, and when you click on, you will see that now under security group restrictions. I can see it's not there. Something has happened. Ideally, my security group should come here on Kita underscore total reward administrator. I think they're refreshing the page. It's its initiation security group who can initiate the higher business process. So now page can work out. No, it's already saved. These are all the groups that can initiate the higher business process. Now question on Kita before you move on. Yes. So you have done it for hire, so for termination and for job change. There is no sub-process for managed business process for worker. So I've gone down to the list for a lot of processing here. What you are seeing are the tasks that are related to hire. I'm not seeing any business process. Let me quickly show you for termination as well. Sorry, staffing functional area is going to be your staffing. I will click on staffing and then I will go for termination. Termination, click on. Now here, what the moment? I will select this here. What I will see is all the task asked that are related to termination. All the tasks will be reflected here. These are all the tasks. Advertise status, assign costing allocation. Assign rules, change benefits. These are all the tasks that are related to termination. Even if you cross-check with the business process configuration option report task, there is a task that is a column. You will see that all those tasks are here. Now there is another way. This is one task. The way that I prefer is, for example, if I want to add security group I want to add Ankita security group under approval of the compensation change compensation higher. Or else let's take an example of change organization assignments. I want to add it there. The task that we have just seen for my higher business process. The second task, what I usually do is I will simply open my higher business process. For example, my higher business process was Hire Ankita Corporation. I will simply open this. This is the way that I am doing. I'm not saying that that way is wrong or this way is the perfect one. I'm not saying this. I want Ankita Security Group to be visible here for this step change organization assignments. Ankita Security Group should have access to initiate the change. organization assignment step. I will go to the related action of my higher business process directly from there. I will go to the business process policy instead of going to that task and then entering the functional area. I will directly enter it from here because I know that I have to edit the business process security policy. I will go to the edit and it will take me to the same screen. See who can start the business process. I will scroll down and I will search for that task change. Change, or this is related to the hire. I have to go to the security policy of the change organization assignments because I have to add it there. So I will open the security. Ideally, it should be here only. Make sure, just give me 1 minute. How many security administrators have you seen in your company? I don't know because we don't have access to view. That means it is something that is defined by the client and they only give it. They have their own security team to whom they want to give the access, like to whom they want to give the goals to the task. Weight entirely depends upon the client. Something wrong? I don't have access to view it or something like that. Not sure, I don't have access to do it, but in my client tenant I was having taxes and I can view. So ideally you can use that particular task here as of now, but once you go to the related actions and the business process security policy, you can add the various like security group. It will take you to the same page, business process policy, and then edit it in my client. And I think there is some restrictions here in this tenant, training tenant. I'm not able to see here. You will see that change or the assignment task as well. And I used to add that particular security group there. If you want, you can go ahead and use that particular task, business process security policy by functional area. So you can also go. Just remember it. If you want, you can also directly, when you got the full access, when you get the full access, you can go to the related actions, go to the business process security, business process policy, and edit it from there as well. You can do it from there as well. I used to do it from here only. It might be just one question. Yes, like change organization assignment. Maybe like it had a sub-process and like you will have to go in and check it there separately. So that is if I want to give access there. But the question here is if what? If I don't, you can directly open that business process. That's also. But what will happen is if something that is only task that is not triggering any sub-process, then in that case you won't find this change organization assignments there. But what if something that is not triggering any sub-process, like for example, manage business process for worker, then how you are going to add it there? That is not AP. I can directly go to the sub-process and make the changes. If you want to, if anything is triggering the sub-process, you can directly open it and you can define your security group there itself. And now we have already discussed, since we have already discussed the business process security policies. So each business process type has its own security policy. It is in this business process security policy that you can configure with security groups, can participate in the business process, and it will be who can start, who can do actions, who can view the entire business process or any other thing approval, review, or cancel, rescind anything. If you want to provide access, then only if you have added to a particular security group, then only you can add it. And you will see that in most of the business processes, like in hire termination, implementers will usually have access to all that task. Why? Because implementers should be able to do the complete hire, should be able to do the complete termination in order to test it in your development tenants. So I have already shown you how you are going to edit the business process. There are two ways you can do it: through business process security policy, by functional area, or from here, from the related action of your business process. And get a question. So Workday delivered the business process. Where Workday says do not use, and then it's been retired. So for what about those business processes? See, even if you are going to add it, if you're not going to use it, then only it won't be effective if, for example, assigned rows is meant that particular task has been mentioned as or as do not use. So even if you are going to change the business process policy, also if you are not going to use it, what's the need of changing the business process policy? No, my question was, let me reverse it. So yes, you have said, what's the use? But that was it. That was active, and then Workday said from last month on that, do not use it. It's not no longer used. No longer active for those kind of scenarios. What is the alternative? Means they will. If they have marked something else do not use, then definitely they will tell us that what we are going to use for the in future, for that assigned role task. If they are marking something else do not use, that means we are not going to use it. Some alternative will definitely be provided by them. So now security policy change control. If you have done any policy change, then only you are going to activate it. We have already discussed it. Workday keeps track of the date and time of each change. Workday security evaluates the security configuration as of a particular time stamp. All security changes are initially saved as inactive whenever, if you are doing the changes I have shown you, if I haven't marked them as activate pending security policy changes, then it won't be get active. What all policy changes are doing is will be in the inactive mode only. When security changes are activated, the exact date time stamp the changes are activated is recorded in Workday, in case there are issues with the latest security changes applied to the system. The previous security configuration can be rolled back, allowing the user time to fix the new security configurations. See these all things. We have done it, how to activate it, and we have already discussed the Workday sign. So guys, just note it. Why I am emphasizing more on that topic is because they will ask you what do you understand by role based, if because you are definitely are going to mention security group part configuration as well in your resume whenever you are going for the job hunt. So definitely they are going to ask you the definitions. What do you understand by role-based or user-based security group? What do you understand about Workday signed security group that are delivered by Workday? So just note down the definitions. That's why I'm going slowly and steadily, because this is important in view of your interview questions and all. So there are a lot of questions regarding the security groups in your interview. So Workday sign rules are automatically assigned based on transaction like hire or termination assigned to the user. Mostly provides very generic or public access not inherited. For example, if you are dealing with any of the compensation, definitely you will see that compensation administrator or compensation partner will be automatically assigned to that particular task of compensation. So role based manually assigned on organization. Assigned to opposite, access is constrained based on the organization the role supports, inherited from the superior supervisory organization. If not assigned user based. Assigned to users based on administrative responsibility, like we have assigned the security administrator group. Assigned directly to a worker. Access is unconstrained, not inherited. Unconstrained means it's not going to be inherited. Simple and straightforward. What they will say is usually, I've seen in my couple of interviews, if you are going to answer any of the security group, one pet line you will hear, are you sure? So I was in a zinc like I'm going wrong somewhere. So I immediately changed my answer. But when I cross-checked my answers, I found that yes, the answer that I said earlier was the correct one. So, yeah. And this particular thing I have noticed in my couple of interviews that I have given. So just be sure you know the definitions. I have given you the definitions. I have given what's the how you're going to assign the roles and what's the need of these particular rules. So be sure about your answer. How many times they are going to say that, are you sure you are going to be adamant on your answer if you think that that is the correct one? So we have already seen how we are going to create the user-based security. How we are assigning the user-based security group. Then we have also discussed about the role-based security group. Before role-based security group, always remember you have to maintain assignable role task. You have to maintain your role in the maintain assignable role task. Always remember this thing only. This is only for role-based security group. We have already discussed and we have already created these job security groups. So we are just going by the definitions. Why I am emphasizing on definition of these security groups, because they will ask you what do you understand by job based security groups, or what do you understand? Because you are not going to create them. But yes, you should know the concept behind it. So, before going for an interview, just have these definitions or these concepts clear in your mind regarding the security group. RESTL is based on your configuration, what you have done. Means business process and even your supervisory organization, the organization types that we have created custom organization. What's all you are creating? It entirely depends upon the configuration. They will ask you the questions from the configuration itself. What security groups they can ask you? What do you understand by domain, specifically domain, or what is the task that you are going to audit the domain security? How you are going to do this, and what do you mean by job-based security groups? So that's why I'm emphasizing more on the definition part. So these types of security groups are automatically assigned by the system based on certain job characteristics. Under this type, we have three types of security group. We have seen that when we are creating the job-based security group, we can define it based on the job characteristics. We can define based on the level, management level, or the compensation level. Whenever you click on that, create job security groups. Try to create it based on the various, I can say that various characteristics, whether it's going to be management level or job-based security group. Try to base it on the job family as well. Membership to a job-based security group is defined based on a particular job criteria. Be specific in choosing your words when you are giving the interview. Because this is training is not only to make you ready for the Workday certification, but yes, you are going to get yourself ready for the interview. So just have those specific catch-up words in your reply. what you are going to give to a client interview. So membership to a job-based means when we are going to create it, when my security group requirement is based on some particular job criteria. By using this one itself, they will come to know that, yes, you know the concept behind why you are creating the job-based security group. Workday derives membership for an active worker only if the worker's job criteria match the criteria for the job-based security groups. So we have already seen it. It's either job profile, job category, job family management level, exempted, non-exempted. So job-based security groups can be constrained or unconstrained. Also, while configuring a constrained one, we need to specify the organization type and whether to include the subordinate organizations or not. So now you have seen that when we were creating the job-based security groups, go ahead and create the security group. Use the task Create Security Group and then Job-Based Security Group. Why this particular line has been mentioned. Job-based security groups can be constrained or unconstrained. Can anyone just give me a quick view? What do you understand by this line? Just a layman language reply means just what do you understand in common man language? You can say that not technically. So what do you understand? The constrained or unconstrained security group. They can be at inheritance level or at a supervisor level or maybe not correct. So constrained security group means these security groups can be inherited. Unconstrained cannot be, but when you are going to create the job-based security group, you can see that you can define the job-based security group whether you want to get them inherited to the subordinates level or not, or the unassigned subordinates, or you want to assign that group at the superior or at the supervisory organization level only not to be inherited. You have that options. 4 to 5 options were there when we were creating the job-based security groups. If not, you can directly go and open that task Create Security Group and then create job-based security groups. You will find all those options here. So if you are selecting the inheritance part, means if it is going to be inherited by your subordinates, then you are going to select the constraint. You are going to create the constraint job-based security group. If not, then it's going to be unconstrained. So it entirely depends what options you are going to select. Always remember the difference between the constrained and unconstrained security groups. Now, level-based security groups we have usually, it is going to be used in the talent module. But why I am telling you all the security groups? Because it's good to be two. I can simply tell you the 5 more important security groups and I can skip the security group topic. But why I'm telling you is you can mention all these security groups in your resume, in your CV, whenever you are going to prepare CV, because you are going to, in your summary part, professional experience part, you're going to write what all things you have done when you have done the implementation. So you can write it down. They are not going to check with your organization whether you have done this configuration or not. You can write all these things like, I have created various security groups in, that includes role, user, job level. And you can mention rule-based security groups. So just go ahead and mention all the security groups. And if you have mentioned anything in your resume, in your CV, you should be well through with that particular topic because they can ask questions from that topic. If you're not confident about that particular topic, no need to mention it in your CV as well. So level-based security group, the word itself tell you that level-based security group is mostly used in the talent module. This identifies worker based on the level. That means you are going to manage them based on their management level or either on their compensation grade hierarchy. So level can be decided only by two things, your compensation or by your management level hierarchy. So if you are going to maintain it, either of these two, it's known as level-based security group. Now, membership-based security groups are of two types. We have seen the organization-based security group. We have created it, and there is another one, location-based security group. So location-based security groups, we can include one or more locations to create a location membership security group. So there was a question when I was giving my interview. They have asked me, like, for example, I want certain things to be visible for an employee, that he should only view the employees of the Atlanta region. He is not authorized to view any other location, employees. So which security groups you are going to make at that time when he is asking the question? No, you can make rule-based, but here rule-based means you are going to combine two types of things. I mean, one is the location, and when one is going to be like, you can say that on basis of the management level, only directors, and above, you can see that. But here what he has mentioned is that particular employee can only see the location-based security groups only Atlanta employees. So you can go ahead and directly create the location-based security groups. And if they are asking you anything based on the organization-based security group, then you are going to create this one. And you know, I was not able to answer one of my recent questions. What they have asked me is why I'm sharing my experiences. It's good for you. Only you guys only. So they have asked, may I want one person to have you only for one of the pay group. So what question they have asked me, they were asking a row of questions and in between they have added one question. They quickly asked me that I want one person to view only one of the pay group. I don't want him to view any other pay group. So what kind of security you want to implement in that case? So I was confused. I was saying that I will assign one user-based security group to that particular employee. I will only ensure that that security group will have access only to that particular pay group. But my answer was wrong. She was also adding, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? So what I replied back to her is like, I'm sure, but my answer was wrong. That answer should be organization-based security group. Here you can say that anything, any security that needs organization, that is, that needs to be restricted based on the organization. Then you have to create organization-based, only on organization-based. If they're combining any other thing, then you can go ahead and simply say that rule-based security group. But if there is no combination, no need to say rule-based security group. There must be some different security group, and just go back and just look, go back and look. What is the best answer you can give? Like for regarding the pay group, she's asking immediately. It should come to my mind that pay group means organization, so I should quickly reply organization-based security group. So that's how you will get confused when you're going to give the interview. So be ready with that. Means just memorize all these security groups. If you have mentioned anything in your resume, just memorize it thoroughly. Before going for that interview, it looks easy to say that organization-based, location-based, but at that time it didn't strike our mind. And definitely we can go wrong in that case. So we can include any organization types. You know that what are organization types we have already dealt in our first day classes like company, cost, center, location, hierarchy, pay group, etc. To create an organization membership security group, we can also include subordinates of the selected organization as well. Any worker of that organization will automatically be a member to the security group. This can either be constrained or unconstrained. See, here it is written that we prefer to use organization membership over location membership from a maintenance perspective. Why organization? I mean what? What is the advantage of it? We prefer to use organization membership over location membership. Means just a kind of maintenance performance perspective. Usually we will create organization based security group. If you want, you can go ahead and create location based as well. But if, for example, if you're going to say that organization based, then your answer should be like we are going to maintain it because it's a performance based. If we are talking about the performance, then performance of the organization based security group is much better than location based security groups. The other question is organization based is more constrained and location is unconstrained. Say that it's constrained and unconstrained. You cannot say that both are constrained and unconstrained. Yes, you cannot say that, but yes, it's maintenance perspective. You can prefer organization based security group. So most of the questions for core HCM interview, they will ask you around business processes or security groups only. So just memorize these particular topics before going for the interview. So simply, it's the task same. Only always remember whenever you are changing any policy, then definitely you have to activate the changes, not after creation of the security group. I'm again repeating activate pending security policy. Changes will only happen if you are going to change the security policies. Creation of the security group is different and updation of your security policy is a different task. Now combination. See, these are all combination security group and if you are, we will be discussing intersection, aggregate all the security groups. These are all. We are not using it as of now, but yes, for an interview perspective, you can simply memorize them. If they are going to ask you, then it's good. Otherwise, you can simply say that no, we are not using the security group as of now because now rule-based security group has taken over. Anything combination, aggregate, intersection, anything. Instead of making those all three security groups in different fields or different criteria, we can simply go ahead and create rule-based security group. It's suffice. All our issues, all our security group combination, whether it's going to be combination, intersection, or aggregate. So this is just for your FYI information that these security groups also exist. No need to create these security groups. We are not going to create it either in your client or anywhere else, but yes, in future, if you're going to like anything got activated regarding this security group in any of the release, then you will come and say that we were not taught about these security groups or we don't know about the security groups. So it's not like that. I will give you the definitions, but yes, it's simply your interviews ask that why you have. Have you tried creating any kind of combination, intersection, or aggregate? Your answer should be straightforward. No, we prefer rule-based security group over all these security groups. So come even in your whenever you got a chance to get yourself Workday certified, even in your Workday certification also. They won't teach you these security groups, or they won't tell you that these security groups also exist. And they will simply concentrate on those 5 security groups only, because those fights are only going to be important as per your client implementation, whether you're going to work in implementation or AMS projects. That are the most widely or commonly used security groups. Combination security groups types offer more flexibility in your security configuration, more targeted access to data, and ease of maintenance. These security groups types requires you to include other security groups such as location, member organization, member and job based as their criteria. And segment-based security group restrict access to specified value of given securable item through defined segments. Segment-based security group grant membership based on existing security groups such as job-based, role-based, or user-based. Even now, we can say that even when we are going to create the rule-based security group, remember, we can add either any job profile in the rule that only these job profiles should have access to the security group, or we can add any location, or we can add any particular worker as well if you want. We can select the source field as worker and we can add that particular worker. But that's the reason why we prefer rule-based security group over these all security groups. Instead of creating all the separate security groups, rule-based is preferred. Now this is combination. They are going to maintain the combination security groups. And there are 2 types of combination security groups. One is aggregate security groups. One is intersection security groups. So just an FY. I note down these definitions if you want, or else I think sessions are getting recorded as well. You can visit those sessions afterwards if you want to refer to the definitions of the security groups. So aggregation security group. This security group allows us to combine existing security groups so that members, any of the included security groups, are members to the aggregation security groups. Exclusion logic can be applied to the security groups. Intersection security groups. Just remember the topics that we have learned in mathematics when we are doing the aggregation, when we are doing the intersection. So remember, 2 ovals are getting intersected. They are having some few things in common in between. So that is known as intersection security groups. The security groups allows us to combine existing security groups so that member who is a member to both the included security groups are members to the intersection security groups. So just remember these definitions. It's simple, only how we are going to create the security groups. And the task remains the same, and you can go ahead and create the security groups. So this is how we are going to create the security groups, and these are the various types of security groups that you should remember. So you are going to have us share the activity documents for 5 types of security groups. You're going to create job organization rule, user and rule-based security groups. Go ahead and prepare yourself. Simultaneously prepare yourself for interview. It's not like that. Once I will finish this training, then I will prepare it because I am here for another 7 to 10 days more. So I can guide you if you are preparing for the interview if you have any type of questions. So now we're just going through the questions. A few quick questions. So a group of users who need to perform actions or access data. What do you call them? Security group. It's a security group. The group of users who need to perform the action. Define tasks and reports which are functionally similar. Go by the definitions. Whose definition is this? Define task. Business process policy. It's not task and reports. Business policy. Domain security policy. It's domain. Domain defined tasks and reports which are functionally similar. If you want, I can show you the definition as well. That's what I was emphasizing. They can ask you what defined the. I have shared my screen as well. See here. Domain is a group of tasks and reports that are functionally similar and business process types are delivered by work. That you cannot create your business process type. You can configure them to meet your workflow requirements. So these are the two definitions you should memorize or you should have in your mind. Now coming back to our own topic. This dictates who can view or modify data within the domains. Security group. This dictates who can modify data within the domains. It's domain security policy. It's clear. What? Who can view or modify data within the domains? It's domain security policy. It depends entirely upon the domain security policy. What kind of domain security policy you have? Now this dictates who can participate in the business process. Business process policy. Who can participate in the business process or who can view the particular domain. Their respective security policies. Type of security group that inherits from the superior supervisory organization if not assigned. Role-based. So it would be assigned to whom? To the position. This is always assigned to the position. Type of security group that is automatically assigned based on user's job criteria. Correct. A type of security group that is assigned to a position. Row-based. Type of security policy that designates permissions for security groups to view or modify tasks and report. Domain. Domain. Domain only. Type of security group policy that contains such secureable items as initiation steps, step actions, and actions on the process. Task required to activate most recent changes to domain or business process security policies. Activate pending security policy changes. It's been. Can you come again? I'm the last one. What is the task then? By using which we can activate our recent business process security policies or any kind of security policies, domain business, or any security policy changes you have done. It's going to be maintained by using only this particular task. Activate pending security policy changes. So this is all about I was able to get that query with respect to that. So just can you edit this one and check it out? Why does it mean that assignable role? No, it shows only once. Not here, not in this rulebook. View Edit Security Policy. The first tab itself. In this Control HR role, the first one itself here. In this here assignable role. Here we can select only one or we can select multiple. Only one role. You can assign the security group only to one role. Only the one role. Multiple roles cannot be assigned to no. That was my question because if suppose somebody asks that whether multiple roles can be assigned to one role. One security group, one role-based security group. No one role-based security group will have only one assignable role. One is assignable role. That was one. So now coming to our hiring part, that's going to be the most important topic. And the final employment life cycle. Post that also we have few topics report creation and EIB creation. But this is going to be the employment life cycle, the last topic. So there, as we have discussed, there are two types of. Why I'm saying is because even after telling it multiple times, employers are or trainees are making errors in performing the hiring. So that's why I'm writing it down and I'm going slowly and slowly. So what kind of staffing model we are having? We are having position management staffing model and job management staffing model. Now position management. Coming to the position management, how you're going to perform higher in the position management staffing model. First of all, you have to copy create position and edit position BP. Business process. In your supervisory organization. Anyhow, I shouldn't have mentioned this particular line because if it is written that copy, create position and edit position, BP, definitely business process where you are going to copy or create. You are going to copy only on your SUPOC only. Second thing. Then go to the staffing. Go to your SUPOC. When you have copy your business process, go to your SUPOC and then go to the staffing and from staffing create position. Then give what? All things you want to create the position. Once you click on that create position task, it will be your position will be created where? Your position will be created where? Can anyone tell me where your position will be created? If I have created a position for a position management staffing model where my position will be created. In SUP, it will be created under the staffing tab of my supervisory organization. Now fourth, go to the related action of your position and start hiring. Also, before you start your hire, if it is whether it's going to be job management or position management, assign all roles that are responsible to carry out hire. That means assign all roles to your SUPOC. So a question can be asked in your interview, what all prerequisite you have to ensure that before carrying out the hiring. Can you just give me a quick overview of the same? So, first of all your organization types should be made, your business process should be defined, all your security groups, respective security groups should be made. And then all the respective roles should be assigned to your supervisory organization. After that, you can start your hiring. These are all the prerequisites that should be maintained before the hiring is done or your termination is done. Any business process that is being carried out, because if, for example, we have created the hire, someone might have created the hire BP. Let me go to that. This is the one when Noral has created it. Let me open that one. So the steps involved are HR partner is there. manager is there, HR executive is there. See here, HR partner manager is here. And then who needs to take care of this? Who is going to be the HR partner? It won't go to all. I have to tell them to which HR partner it should go, who is going to take action on proposed compensation hire, or who is going to define my package. So it will go to that particular person. So where I'm going to assign that thing, I will go to my supervisory organization. What is my supervisory organization for this BP? Noral GRM Global Consulting. I will go to the related actions. I will assign roles. I will assign a Chiva partner role to the person. For example, I will assign it to Steve Morgan. Then proposed compensation hire will go to the Steve Morgan. So that's why, just one question. Can you go to that screen? So we understand B and B are there. So B step will wait for the B step to get completed. Once your B step is completed, then only it will go to BA. Correct. Because both are actioned. No, maybe it can trigger one after the other. No. It will follow the order. First, it will go to the who has initiated it. Then it will go to the HR partner, and then it will go to the, again it will go to the, because you have defined it as HR partner, review law, hire as HR partner. So it will go to the HR partner. Then it will go to the to-do list. For again, it's, you have defined it as HR partner. Better define it as something different, HR executive compensation partner. So you can test in that way more effectively, or you can hire more effectively in that case. Again and again, it will go to the same inbox only, same to the same person only. Because HR partner for this organization is going to be the same. So first, before creation, before starting your hiring, you have to define all the roles, and then for position management, you have to do this. Why have copied this edit position BP? For example, in future your employee come and say that, or your client come and say that I don't want to have Atlanta as a position restriction. I want the location, the position to be open for all. So in that case, you will go ahead and edit that particular position and maintain. Apart from that, Atlanta, you will make it as blank because your client don't want any restrictions based on the location. So in that case, you are going to use this. Now coming to the job management, it's all over the same. But here, what we are going to do is we are not going to create position. Always remember job management. We are not entitled to create the positions. We have already discussed a lot. So what we are going to do is we are going to copy set hiring restrictions and edit hiring restrictions. In BPNUR support. Also one more thing. If you have, I have already told you again, I will mention it as an asterisk mark with an asterisk mark. If you have defined organization specific BP for your support, then only you are going to create rest of the organization specific support. Otherwise, go ahead with the default definition only. What Workday will do is, Workday will search. For example, if Workday knows that no rule has created an organization-specific definition, that means no rule is not using default definition of hire for GRM Global Consulting. So if it knows that hire is the organization-specific definition, then automatically Workday will search for organization-specific create position definition only. That means you have to define that create position. If, for example, no rule is going to use for his GRM Global Consulting the default hire definition, then no need to create even these organization-specific definition as well, because Workday will automatically search for default definitions. Because your main sub-process hire sub-process organization, so it will search for the organization-specific definitions. Amal. Oh no. We don't have organization-specific business process. It takes a default one, but like all the groups from where it will collect data. Like we are assigning the group. I think how you are going to assign it to a supervisory organization. But there will be so many options, like HR manager or compensation manager. So which one will it take? No, in case if I don't assign anything. You said no rule has not created it. It goes to a default one. It will go for the default one. But if you haven't assigned any roles, it won't go to any inbox. It won't go to any of the inbox. Means you are asking me, for example, no rule has not created this and he is just using the default definition. He haven't defined his own higher definition. So, for example, let's assume that this is the default higher definition. Now, coming to this proposed compensation, hire HR partner, but you haven't assigned HR partner role to your supervisory organization. Workday doesn't know to whom this particular task needs to be triggered because you haven't defined that role to which person it should go. For example, ideally HR partner of this organization is Ankita, but Workday doesn't know because you haven't assigned the Ankita's position to the HR partner of no rules organization. That's why I told here, I've mentioned before you're hiring, you should ensure that all your roles are assigned at your superb level that are responsible to carry out higher business process. Always remember if the person does. If you haven't assigned the role to a person or to a position, I can say that I'm not going to assign to a person. If you haven't assigned the role to a position, then Workday don't know where to trigger that particular role. Suppose that particular task proposed compensation hire to which inbox I have to send. You haven't told Workday, so it won't trigger it. Your business process will go into reassign steps. It won't trigger to anyone. Then again, you will go back and cancel your business process. And then again go back and assign your roles and then restart your hire. In that case, the only case will be, for example, sometimes they don't want to assign any HR partner, specific HR partner to your supervisory organization. And they want to trigger it to all HR partners, for example. So in that case, you can do one thing. There is an option all. Yes, you can check that. If you are checking this all option, then this particular step will get triggered. All HR partners, whosoever persons are there in the HR partner security group, they will get this particular task in their inbox. If we have selected this option in our business process all, that means if I select it for review employer hire, I have selected this checkbox and I haven't assigned HR partner in my super. Then automatically, anyhow, if you are assigning it or not, it doesn't matter. If you are selected, This audit will go to the inboxes of all HR partners. Whosoever is the HR partner in this tenant, this particular action review employee hire for new role. If you are going to, for example, going to hire Ankita, so it will trigger review employer hire for Ankita. It will go to all inboxes of the HR partner. And even if one person takes one HR partner takes action, it will get disappear from all inboxes. All rest of the HR partner inboxes, only one action is enough. So Ankita, if I don't create the all, then where it is going? It won't go anywhere. It won't go anywhere. You will see like this. Once we will do that mistake, we will see that under our staffing tab of our supervisory organization that this business process is lying as it is. It's not triggered to any inbox. You will see that. If you haven't assigned it and if you haven't selected any, all then your business process will lie as it is tomorrow when we are doing the hire. We will do the hire. Then we will see that I will do the mistake and I will show you how your business process will look like if you are not going to assign anything, any role. It won't go to any inbox and it will lie here and there only. So we are getting issues in our projects. Similar issues. HR will come and say that I don't know where my hire is pending. It should ideally get triggered to the HR admin, but it still didn't get triggered to the HR admin. So we, as a Workday consultant, will ask them in which supervisory organization you have done the hire. They will tell us, and then we will go to the staffing tab of that particular supervisory organization. We'll see that the business process, what's the error that business process is having. So that's where we are rectifying the things, or we are identifying the issues and we will tell them, fine, you have done this mistake. Now, do you want me to send it back or do you want me to cancel that business process? Then you can start it all over again. So coming back to our topic, so job management, you have to go to the support and then staffing and then set hiring restrictions. There you are going to set it. I have shown you in the first day of class. Tomorrow also, I will repeat these all things and we will complete a hire. We'll try to complete a hire provided this tenant give us that access. Give me that access. Now set hiring restrictions. In this case, no position will be created under your staffing tab. Staffing tab, you will see job requisition will be created or job will be created. And from there job will be created. Then in that case, you won't start hiring. Here, what we are doing is we are directly going to the related action of your position and we can start hire. But here again, you will see that your job has been created in the staffing tab. In the position management position will be created. But here, what you will do is you will go to the related action of your SUPAC. And then again from there, you will go to the hire and then you will hire the employee. So in this case, you won't go to in the job management, you won't go to the related action of your job, but you will go to the related action of your SUPAC and then again you will click on hire and hire the employee. So this is the difference between the position management and job management. Now roles has been assigned, your VPs has been assigned, and then you have hired the employees. So once you will click on the hire option, what it will do is it will ask you to create a pre-hire. Pre-hire account as well. So once you create the pre-hire, then you will be able to hire the employee. So all these things you have to ensure that it's there in the system. Also, before hiring your organization should be ready. Your roles are assigned, your organization assignments should be done, and then your compensation should be defaulted. The compensation should be defaulted or created. Compensation structure should be created because anyhow, if your compensation structure itself is not there, then how you are going to give the compensation to the employee? Your business process should be done, and then your role assignment should be done. So any questions or any doubts before you start with the hiring of the employee? Anyone has any questions or any doubt? Ankit, regarding hires. So you're talking about from an organization level or a company level where either is your contractor or an employee where he'll have a position management or a job management. And then he'll get hired based on the business process, the security policies defined, and all that you're talking about. If I want to get in Home Depot or J&J or Walmart, for example, and I'm applying from outside, I'm applying from Walmart Com Carrier section where I enter my first name, last name, my college details, my experience and all. How does that data gets into Workday, and from there, how do they create interviews and 4 to 5 interviews with deeply concerned people? And how will that person be hired as a contractor or an employee based on the criteria? So can from a start to land, how does it reflect in Workday, or what you have to do in Workday or by LinkedIn also? See, that is the topic that you are asking. Is this related to the recruitment topic, recruitment module of the Workday? You are asking about means if the candidate is going to apply from the external side by the internal job posting. If you want, I can show you the full cycle of it, but I will go into the depth of each and every topic, like when the candidate applies, what happens with them, what's going to be the next stage. I will give you that full cycle picture. But I cannot go into the depth because that will be covered under the recruitment module of the Workday. If you want, I will tell you the process, how the candidate is hired, and then how the hiring is being done. I will tell you that cycle, but I don't. But it's out of the box question. But yes, I will give you that picture because you guys are new to the Workday. So I will give you that particular picture, how an external job posting will work or how the internal job posting will work. It internal means within the company. If I'm searching, if I'm working for Global Modern Services, if I want to search internal job, then it's going to be internal job posting. And when it's going to be external job means someone from external is applying to the company from the company. So I will give you a full life cycle if you want of that. But first let's complete this hiring and then I will show you in the PPT. Like we have discussed the security theoretical part afterwards. So I will show you that theoretical part, how the full life cycle of the employee happens. That includes the recruitment model. That's not going to come up in the core HCM module. I will show you that particular cycle. So Ankit, the hiring which we are going to do now, it's all internal. No, it's not internal. You are going to see candidate will apply from outside And then for example, everything will be done is screening assessment, and your interview offer letter will be released to the candidate. Now, for example, I have applied for a job in global modern services. My everything will be done interview. They will release. Everything will happen within the system. Now the candidate has cleared the screening part. Now the candidate has cleared the assessment part. Now the candidates have uploaded the background verification. It's done. Candidate is ready for hire. They will make it as ready for hire. Now the HR will come into. Now we will come into picture. Core HCM person will come into picture. They will make it as ready for hire. They will provide us the candidate name and all the details. Then we will go ahead and hire that particular employee into our supervisory organization. For example, they will tell us, recruitment guys will tell us that Ankit, we have finalized Ankit for this particular job role. For a job role as a manager under a Neural GRM Global Consulting. You can hire her as a manager. So what they will tell us all the details. From where they will get all the details. They will get it from the screening assessment that they have performed on the employee, that they have performed on Ankit. So they will give us all those details that these are all the details. Then again, we will go back and start the hire. How we are going to start the hire? First, we will create a position for Ankit, or if it is going to be job management, we are going to set hiring restrictions for her. And then accordingly, we will start the hire, and then we will enter all the details. For example, what's the hire date? What's the position we are going to hire? What's the employee type we are going to hire? Correct. You mean in a HCM, starting from hiring, the little termination. All the procedure is done in the HCM. So is it correct? No one else will interfere in it. Neither recruitment guys nor anyone. Recruitment guys means they are helping you to onboard that particular person. They are just helping you to recruit that particular person. Like you are getting calls. You are getting calls for now. Your first round is completed. Your second round is completed. Technical round is completed. Your background verification is completed. So likewise, those stuff are performed by recruitment consultants. Sometimes we get confused. Like, what is the boundaries of this core HCM? Like recruitment or related benefits should come under the core HCM. But there is no boundaries for core HCM. See, core HCM is the basic. I have told you core HCM is the basic and all these are modules, so you should have knowledge of core HCM. Then only you can perform the recruitment, then only you can work on payroll, then only you can work on rest of any of the modules. So core HCM is the basic and these are all the advanced modules like payroll. And then we are going to talk about absence. So if you are going to work on payroll, if you don't have the basic knowledge of core HCM, then how you are going to define that particular person, or how you are going to check the support of that particular person, or how you are going to define the pay group. Similarly, I understand. My question is like, for example, compensation is a part of core HCM. So why not recruitment is a part of core HCM? Because both are a chain of the work. They are the advanced module. Core HCM is the basic of all. Like if you are working in SAP, if you are going to work on the code, you should know the ABP programming language. So it's the basic and these are all the advanced. These are not the part of core HCM. You cannot say that these are the various advanced modules of the core HCM. These are not the part, these are the advanced module of core HCM. So you're saying that if you want to get the advanced module learning, then we have to know the coding. There are separate codes for all these advanced modules, and those are related with the coding. No, it's not coding, they are own configurations, respective configuration. So when we take advanced models model, so 50% of them would be business process and security groups, and then understanding the concepts. Correct. Business, process, and security groups will be there for all. Even recruitment has their own business process, payroll. I have told you the task. Business process definition task. You can go there and explore various business processes of recruitment if you want. Payroll, absence, time, tracking compensation. And again the workflow comes. The business process workflow comes initiation, then A, B, C, D, E, and then you take the decisions, setting up the groups. Correct. Workday report, writer, and custom reports. Report writer, where we are going to build the reports, how we are going to create the reports. For example, your client will come to you and say that I want all the active employees report. So how we are going to fetch the active employees report into the system? So we are going to build the custom reports in that case. Custom report means the reports that are customized based on the requirements that are given to us. So in this particular topic, we will study what are the standard reports, what are the espresso report types. Then we are going to look into the business objects and data sources. Steps in creating custom reports, business object field types, and how to do the filtering and prompting options. These all things are done within the report only. When we will be creating the report, we will see all these options there. Now Workday standard reports. Workday standard reports are the reports that are delivered by Workday. The word itself tells you Workday standard report. Before introducing Workday Report Writer and creating custom reports, it is best to discuss the standard reports delivered by Workday. There are around 1500 delivered standard reports, and they are divided into two categories. First one is Espresso and Report Writer. There are two types of standard reports. One is Espresso and the other one is Report Writer. The only difference between the Espresso and the Report Writer is just note it down, or you can memorize it as well. Espresso report, you cannot copy them. It's only to view. You can only view those reports. You cannot copy these Espresso reports, whereas Report Writer, you can copy the reports. This is a major difference between these two reports. Both are standard reports. Just make it sure both are standard reports. Both are delivered by Workday, but Espresso report cannot be copied by you, and you can copy the report writer reports. Now, Espresso reports are usually the audit reports we have seen when we are going through the profile. We were going through the navigation of the Workday. We have seen that there was some audit report where we can download, where we can check all the audit reports that are being delivered by Workday. So the audit reports are delivered by Workday, and since they are Espresso reports, so you cannot copy them or you cannot customize them. Copy means you cannot customize them as well. If you cannot copy, how you are going to customize them? So 80% of Workday delivered reports created using Espresso reports. Now report writer. Report writer is where we are going to create our own custom reports, or we can copy the standard reports and we can create the custom reports from them. Workday's custom report writing tool then writes reports directly in the tool. So every time you run a report, it will always show real-time data whenever you are creating any field. Suppose I have created a report that will fetch all the active employees in the system. That means when I am going to run that report, it will fetch the real-time data. Means the data that is at that moment when I am running the report exists in that particular tenant. So that's why we always say that whenever you fetch any report, it will always show you the real-time data. All these reports are used. What's all reports you are going to use? There are many reports that are being used in payroll. There are many reports that are being used in integrations or many other applications. Even in your business process as well, we can use the reports. When you are selecting the type, there are type-like actions, approvals, review. You can also select the report. For example, in the hire, what they want to see is for that particular worker. They want to see various fields like what's the date of birth of that employer, what are the various details of the employee. You want to fetch or HR admin wants to see when you are carrying the hire business process. So what you can do is, if HR admin wants to see the details related to the employee, what you can do is you can insert a step by the type as report. Instead of action, you can type as report. Then it will give you an option to configure the report, means you can add any report that would be fetch real-time data when the HR admin will execute that particular step. So these reports can be used anywhere within the tenant. Whether it's going to be integrations, whether it's going to be any kind of applications, they can also be embedded in the business processes. Now there are two types of report writer. One is standard report writer and the next one is a custom report writer. Standard report writer means the standard reports that are being delivered by Workday. Standard report writer reports and the custom reports that we are going to create it. Always remember, this is standard report. Writer can be copied. We can copy them and we can customize them based on our own requirements from the client. But we cannot edit the standard reports. We can copy them, but we cannot edit them. We can copy them and then once the copy is made, then we can do whatever we want in that report. We can customize based on our needs. So now these are the types of custom reports. You can see here, just look at them. We are going to create the simple and only the advanced custom reports in our core HCM. Can you come again between standard reports and custom reports? Standard report writer. Yes, standard report writers are the reports that are delivered by Workday. And the custom report writers are the reports that we are going to create based on the requirements of our client. But you said the standard report can be copied. Yes, we can copy them. For example, there are few standard reports. We can say that one of the report is active employer report. For example, if all active employer report is there, my client wants to see more field in that active employer report. They want more data about the employee, but I cannot edit the standard reports because they are Workday delivered. What I can do is I can simply copy that report and give my own name I want. I can give my own name and then I can add that particular field in the report as per, based on the requirement of the client. You cannot edit the standard reports, but you can copy them. Standard report writer. But you can create your own custom reports based on your needs. These are the various types of custom reports that you can create. In our core HCM part, we are going to study only the simple and advanced. Rest are for your FYI for your information. Simple report. You cannot share the system simple reports with other users. If you have created it, you can only view it. No other user can run it or can see those simple reports. They cannot be used in any kind of integrations, any kind of applications. No access to advanced filtering or sorting option. You cannot sort that report and you cannot also put a filter on those kind of reports. Usually, whenever you are going to create in any module you are going to work, whether it's going to be absence or any module of a workday, we need integration as well. We are creating mostly the advanced report. We only have the requirement to create the advanced report because that suffices most of our requirements that our client sends to us. So these just one question. When you generate this advanced report, it is downloaded in an Excel format or how it is, or it will be there on the Workday. It can be downloaded. We will look into it once we will create the custom report. We will look into that. You can download it in Excel, and you have seen, remember, when we were checking, going through the navigation part, we have seen that under our profile, there was an option, My Reports. Once you click on the download, then you can see your report once it is downloaded. Sometimes the data is huge. You will see that report within 1 to 2 minutes. It depends upon the data that you are downloading. Under My Reports, you will see your required report that you have downloaded. It's not going to be downloaded in your system. It will be downloaded and My Reports from there you can download in your system. So see, you said Express report is only read-only and cannot be copied. Then you have Report Writer, which can be edited. Now we're talking about Standard Report Writer, which cannot be, is Workday Delivered, and Custom Report. So where is the cache out here? See, there are two types of Workday Standard Reports that are Express. One is Express Report and one is Report Writer. Oh, Workday Delivered. Yes, Workday Delivered. Now under Expresso report, you cannot copy those reports. Neither copy means if you are not going to copy, you cannot edit them as well. And the second one is Report Writer. Under Report Writer, you have two options, Standard Report Writer and Custom Report Writers. Standard Report Writer means you can copy them, but you cannot edit them. But Custom Report Writer means you can create your own report writer. You can create your own report. And this talking about this, these are the various custom reports that are available. Now simple report, I have already discussed. We are going to mostly discuss advanced, how you're going to create the advanced report. It's a simple topic, only report creations. I will tell you how you are going to create the advanced report. Then, depending upon your business requirement, you can create the report. Now, advanced report can be shared. It can be used for any kind of integrations or applications. It can be used in your business objects or your business process. It has the filtering options as well, sorting and prompting options. All the facilities are there within the advanced reports. You can fetch any kind of data if you want using the advanced report. Now comes the metrics search transport inbox trending composite. These are all the various types of report, and it will give you simple the output that is mentioned in the definitions. Means for the metrics report you will get, like in the Excel, we are getting that pivot table. We are able to make the pivot table. So similarly in the metrics, when you run any metrics report, it will give you the data that just look like the pivot table in Excel. It aggregates numeric data and allows the user to drill into data to get more data or take related actions. And then comes the search. We have seen one search report, find workers report, that is known as the search report. Displays search result based on the value selected for facet filters. On the report, we have seen that find workers report, that is the search report, kind of search report that is being delivered by Workday itself. Now transpose report interchanges the rows and corresponding columns on a report. And then comes the inbox used in Workday Talent. This particular report is used in Workday Talent module. It counts and displays data in a two-dimensional matrix. And then what's trending? If you want to make a report in a trending manner, it shows the chart like a trending chart. So that kind of reports are known as trending reports. And then comes the composite reports. Allows you to pull in multiple sub-reports to combine data into a single report. So, as per the Workday in your core HCM, if you are a core HCM certified consultant, they will only ask you about the advanced custom reports. Because in core HCM certification, we will only go through the advanced custom reports. It covers almost all. I never get any requirement related to any such kind of other kind of reports because usually advanced custom reports suffices all my problems. If my client come back to me and say that I want these details or this needs to be fixed. So in that advanced reports covers all those things. It will allow me to add any field if I selected the correct business objects or what all means requirement is there. Let's go through the custom report elements and then I will show you how it looks like in the tenant. First, let's go through the definition. So once we are going through the tenant, it becomes more easy for you guys to understand the topic. So custom report elements, we have data source. The data source means the viewer's selection of instances of a given primary business object. For example, now there is a requirement to fetch all the active employees, the employees who are active in the tenant. I want to fetch a report. So what's going to be my primary object? What's going to be my primary object? Worker means employee. So employee or worker is going to be my primary object. That means that's going to be my data source. Now it depends what kind of employees they want to fetch, whether it's going to be all active employees or the terminated employees. So in that case, worker is going to be my primary business object and all active employees is going to be my data source. It depends entirely upon your requirement, how your client is going to give you the requirement. Now related business objects, sometimes it happens. For example, location. Location worker is my primary business object and location is going to be my related business object. Location is also a business object, but if I'm fetching it in the report, that means it's going to be my related business object. So these are the three elements of a custom report. Data source, primary business objects, and related business objects. So you cannot change the primary business object once the report has been created, but you can change the data source to a different data source that defines the same primary business object. Always remember, if you have created the custom report for your FYI, you cannot change the primary business object. You can only change the data source. You won't be authorized. Once the custom report is created, you cannot change or you are not authorized to change the primary business object. What you have to do in that case? Sometimes it happens. Like I'm creating a report, I'm in the middle of the report. I found that this primary business object is not at all suitable with the requirement that I'm creating for my client. I will quickly go ahead and delete that report and create a new one with the correct primary business object. The primary business object is the worker. For example, I've taken the example as all active employer. It depends what you want to fetch. For example, I want to fetch like various payslips outcomes. For example, I'm telling you all active employees what's the primary business object. Work correct because I'm going to pull the worker. Now it depends what all fees is required by the client in that report. That depends. Those all fees will be their related business objects. Now, coming back to another requirement, my client come up and say that I want to see all the elements that are mentioned in the payslips to be as an output for output. So what's going to be my primary business object? It's going to be payroll result. Because I'm going to fetch all those fees that I mentioned in my payslip from the payroll results. So that means payroll results is going to be my primary business object in that requirement. So that means the main business object from where or for which you are going to fetch the results is known as your primary business object. The business object is a class of data such as supervisory organization or worker, where there may be multiple instances and associated data fields. Each custom report has exactly one data source. I've already told you, one data source or one primary business object. Whenever you are trying to create a custom report, now all these reports you can look here. These are all the standard reports that are being delivered by Workday. If it is, you can see that these are the types. If it is Espresso report, you cannot copy that particular report. But if it is a report writer, you can copy that particular report. So just go ahead and try looking into the various standard report. This is the category that I have searched related to how these many reports are there. Provided I have access only to view these reports. I have access only to view these reports. The reports are not shared with me. There are more reports, but yes, I have access to view only these reports. So you can go ahead and view the various reports in the various sections. Like what's the output of the support plan? I mean, once we will create it, we will see it. Now coming to our custom reports. So view standard reports is Workday delivered only. Yes, it's all Workday delivered only. Ankita, can we see and view any report that shows active employees? Yes, I don't think I have access for that report now. I don't have access to that report. We will create it. No need to worry, we will create the active report, active employees report if you want. Can you also give a list of all reports that we use basically to view employees? I mean, not now, but later. Yes, I will give you the basics report, like related to the business process or related to any kind of report that used to fetch standard reports that can be used or that can be asked in your interview. There is a separate list. I will give you that list, which you employ data related ones. Yes, yes. So this is that report, data sources report I'm talking about. Now, for example, I have got the requirement saying that data. See, you can see that all active employees is here, is the topic is here, and you can that data source is here. Here you can see that all active compensation, all various kind of see all active and terminated workers data source is also here. So it depends on the business object. What business, sorry, data source you have selected. For example, all active employees. I will select both of these data sources. We are just discussing the data source now. So this is the description of that particular data source. Just go through the description. This is the report where you have to go ahead and search for the first of all, search for the correct data source. Then only you can select the, we can say that, then only we can select the primary business object. Whenever you get any report creation, custom report creation requirement, simply go ahead and open the data source. Check what is a data source of what kind of employees or what kind of data they want to fetch. For example, to me, they will come and say that I want to search. This is the active, this is the description that is being mentioned here. And my requirement also, this description is mentioned when what kind of data they want to fetch. What I will do is simply, I will go here and check for the description. If this description satisfied my requirement, I will simply take my primary business object as worker. And then once you select the primary business object, then you can select the data source accordingly. Automatically the data source for the allowed, if you are selecting the worker, then the data source all active and terminated workers. You can select it from there. For example, if your requirement is to select this description and you have selected, you have given the primary business object as employee, then you will never get this data source and then drop down because this data source is linked with this primary business object, not with employee. With employee, you will only get the all active employee. So it entirely depends upon the primary business object, what primary business object you are going to select. Now my question is, what's the difference between worker and employee? Primary business object. What's the difference between worker and employee? Employee is a permanent employee and worker could be a contingent one. So worker can have contingent as well as employee, but employee means it won't include the contingent workers. It would be like permanent worker types. Ankita, how many primary objects are there? I cannot comment on that. There are many. So worker you have mentioned, employee you have mentioned. See, based on that, if we get the data sources, it's easy for us. No, no, no. It depends upon the description or what kind of description is there, what they want to actually fetch from the report. What's the requirement of the report? It's not someone will come and tell you, or the client will come and tell you that this is the data source you have to select. No, they will tell you a description or they will tell you some. They will give you, like I have told you, all active employees. I want to fetch all active employees. So I know that its data source will definitely have that active word. Now, among those data source, I will select a description. So you have to select it. It's the duty of the consultant. You have to select the correct data source. No one will come you and tell them, and it is nowhere written that this particular requirement will come, and then you have to fetch this data source. Workday has given you the data sources report. You have to identify it using the description, using this report only. So no one will tell you that, or nowhere. It is written even in your certification as well. There is a report creation criteria. Topic is there. No one will tell you that this is the description or this I want. You have to select this data source. Now, being a consultant, you only have to select the correct data source based on the report creation criteria that you have got. And it's not that much difficult. Once you will be into the system, once you are creating the reports, if you want, you can go ahead and create many reports. Once I will show you how to create the report, then in that case, it will be easy for you. It's not that much difficult. Now you are looking into the report first time. That's why it is looking complex to you. But it's not that much complex. Simply, I will go it like on. Based on the requirement, it will be clearly mentioned. I want to fetch all the payroll results. I will simply go here and search for the payroll results. If I want to fetch any kind of, we can say that application related things, see external payroll results, all kind of payroll results option will be there. So we can select it based on the R requirement, then select it and select the correct description. Based on the description, then it will give you all the description. Select multiple and then go through the description. Based on your report creation description, you can select the correct business object. So once the primary business object you have selected is correct, you will get the desired output field. If you are not getting, just go ahead and delete it. Delete that particular report and go ahead with another primary business object. Because primary business object once assigned, you cannot remove it. Now, so in this column you are looking permitted security groups. You can see that only these security groups can use these data source or can view these data source. Apart from this, no one can see it, and this is something that is delivered by Workday itself. You cannot add these security groups. This is delivered by Workday only. So that means, see here it's common. Implementers, all these implementers can view. These implementers can view the reports. Usually, all the data sources can be viewed by implementers will have access to view them. If implementers are not having access, try it. You won't be able to look into that data source. You can't view that data source itself if the implementers is not mentioned, because now we are the implementers. And this is the category. Here you can see that category column is here. Under which category this particular data source. If you want to have more detail about the data source you can view, go ahead and view the category. For example, this data source is related to the benefits. Benefits Affordable Care Act. Now if I go by the active employee data source, its category is worker data. It will help us in fetching the data related to worker. Earlier, when we were looking into that one, it was regarding the benefits. It will help us to fetch the data regarding the benefits details. And here you can see that data source type standard. And that means the data source type is standard, delivered by Workday. Now, this is the data source has shown you how you are going to select it. Now, these are the things that you can see in your report fields. These are the reports where you can. I have a question. You mean you told it is edit and copy? So I didn't get voted that editable and copy. We will go ahead. There is a copying. Standard report option is there. We can go ahead and I will show you how to copy the standard reports. You mean to say editing the reports of the data? No editing the reports. You can only copy the standard report writer. Yeah, I have told you at the beginning itself. Always don't get confused by edit and copying. You cannot edit any report, any standard report. You cannot edit any of the standard reports that is being delivered by Workday. No reports is editable, but the report writer, standard report writer, you can copy that. Copy, that means you can copy that and then you can. That means if you're copying that report, that means you are creating a new report with that, with a new name. All the things will be there. Now you can go ahead and modify it based on your requirement. Editing means you are editing in the same thing. The report that is being delivered by Workday, you are editing the same thing. No, you cannot edit. You cannot edit any standard reports, whether it's Espresso or it is a standard report writer. And Espresso, you cannot copy and report. Write a standard report writer, you can copy them. And you can make them your own. You can modify it based on your requirement. And custom reports. You are going to create your own report from the scratch. Now, these are the fields you can have in your custom reports. You can have text field. You can have currency field. This is just for your F, your I. Text field, currency field, numeric field, Boolean field, data field, primary business, object, multi-instance, and then single instance. You can have all these two kinds of fields in your report. Once you are going to create the report, we can see it, what all fields we can fetch. Now copying, how you are going to copy the standard report. What all standard report is, there means standard report writer. What all standard report writer are there? Reports are there. You can copy them. Go to the related actions. If it is a standard report writer, you can copy those report. Copy that particular report. You cannot identify by looking at the name whether it's a standard report writer, or it's an Espresso report. You can only judge it whether you are able to copy it or not. If you are able to copy it, that means it's a standard report writer. If you are not able to copy it, that means automatically it's going to be Espresso report. Correct? Am I clear? Is the difference between the Espresso report and the standard report writer is clear to you guys? There is. The only way to identify both the report is if you can copy them, it's going to be standard report writer. If you are unable to copy that particular report, it's going to be an Espresso report. Now reports and report data fields are secured by the domain security policies. What does this line mean? For example, if I doesn't have means implementer doesn't have access to view that termination reason field domain. So that means if implementer doesn't have access to view the termination reason, that means in the report as well, you won't be able to see that particular field. If you don't have access for that particular domain, that means in the report also you won't be able to see that particular field. So this issue usually occur with the client because we will deliver the report. We will create the report based on their requirement and we will share it with some few groups. They have requested us to share the report. Once you are going to create it, we will see that how we are going to share the report. So we will share the report to them. Now what will happen is they will share with their own employees or their own teams and all. So not everyone have access to all the domains. What they will come back and say to us was this: I'm not able to see the data for this particular column. Then they will come to us. What immediately you should get into your mind is if you are able to see that data when you are running the report. First, we will try to run the report by our ID. If we are able to see that particular data and the client is not able to see, definitely somewhere the security is missing for that particular field that they are not able to see. So immediately go back and check this domain security policy of that particular field of that particular domain. You can say that and check and tell them, boss, this particular you don't have a security to view, access to view that particular domain. That's the reason why this data is not getting fetched in your report when you are trying to download that report. So it doesn't mean that if you have created the report, everyone will have the same output. No output means if you have access to view that field, then only you will get that desired output. Otherwise, you won't get output related to that particular field. Are we not downloading that report and sharing with the client? See if the access is not granted to that particular user. That means that is related to security. You cannot share all the data. Being an implementer, I can see all the pay slips because I have access to view the even compensation of the employees within the company or the client I'm working for. But I cannot share the data. That's a personal data. If someone doesn't have access to view that particular field, that means we shouldn't be sharing that particular field. We should get approval from the client or someone from the management of their client. Share the report with them. I want them to see this report. Then only we can share it. Otherwise, why they have restricted the access? Something they don't want those teams to see it. I don't want Sai to view the compensation of the employees. So I won't give him the payroll administrator or the security group that allows access to view the compensation of the employee. So if the security is restricted, that means there is some hidden agenda behind that. That's why they are not able to see that particular field. So here comes the security. Just one doubt. What is the role of HCM consultant in reports? When the client also can see the report, then what is the role of HCM consultant? Is it to analyze the data or only he has to extract the data? I have created around 20 to 25 reports during my implementation. Advanced report I have created. Workday doesn't deliver all the reports. They will simply deliver some standard reports like active employees report. I cannot see it now. So they won't report how many active employees are there, how many employees are terminated. Or they won't, since I have worked recently. I've worked in the payroll implementation project, so they want various data related to the taxes. I want how many employees are eligible for these many fields or these many taxes, local taxes or standard taxes, XYZ. There are many requirements. How many? For example, in the yesterday, we are discussing about the recruitment, how many employees are in the stage of ready to hire. So you can create the report based on the various requirements they want to look into, the output they want to look into. Within the 10, because we are in the configuration stage even now, also we have got yesterday itself, we have got a requirement to create a standard reports. Standard custom report, advanced report. So they want to see the data, so they will request us to fetch that data. Just one question. So you said that you have prepared the payroll report or something. So payroll structure is normally different in different countries. So normally when you work for example, USA or Canada, so you must have the payroll structure basic of that country. Yes, correct. There is now worked only supports 4 countries, and with this 2024 R1, it has also released the 5th country payroll Australia. Yes, if I'm working for USA, I will fetch the data related to the USA. If I'm working for Canada, I will fetch the data. What all field I want, I will fetch it based on the requirement. It entirely depends upon the requirement. I will insert a field as country or I will give a prompt. My question was like, for example, tax structure is different between USA and Canada, so you are working for the USA company. So, for example, if you get any project for Canadian company, then you should have some basic tax knowledge on Canadian system. Canadian system means tax knowledge, and in that certification, we are going through the certification as well. Like you are going through this training, we are also going through the training. Like I have gone through US payroll training because I'm US payroll certified. So in that they have told me various components related to the US payroll. Similarly, there is a Canada payroll training as well. If there is a requirement, I can go through the Canada payroll training as well. Now we got it. So whatever we are learning, that is basically the universal thing. Best. Without this, you cannot go ahead and learn any of the advanced module. Ankit, I have a question. So, regarding the double security policy, you have created a report and then you have generated, and the client wants to see that the compensation data field, as you said, is he not able to view? So, who he will get back? He will get back to the security, to us only, so, or HCM consultant. So, we will again. If they want, then you have to go back and activate or add that particular security group or that particular employer to that domain and get it. I will open up domain security policy and then field and then search that field and then add it. Now it also depends whether they want only view access or also the modify access. You have to ask that as well before adding it in the required column, because we have seen that it has 2 options, view and modifying. But one kind of a scenario out here. Yes, he has declined, does not have access, but he's not able to see the field. Other people in his process or in his group has access. Then what his client has said is, can you send me the CSV file because I am not able to see that field. So with the CSV file and Excel file, he can see that field. Yes, if you have done, because you have the access and you can download that report if you're going to share that. Yes, if they request you. You are not going to, someone will come from the client team and say you that I want this report. Fetch it. No, you should have means this, you should have approval from someone within the client only management level. That fine. His or her manager. Yes, they want to see that particular field. And what does it turnaround time? See, Monday, they have requested a report. What is your? Only, it's simple. Only you can simply go ahead and run it. That's it. Go to the again. It is a time when they come back. They say few additions have to be made. So normally what it depends on the client if they make it as urgent. I want it now, so go ahead and add it. It depends upon the urgency or the client you are working for. It's simple. Only you will go to the related actions, edit the report and add those particular fields they have requested. So I will show you how you're going to create it, how you're going to add the output. We're going to see all those things now. Just now someone has pointed, for example, I want to. Now I'm working only for USA country. And I am working on some payroll output report and I want to fetch data because since only USA country is activated or only USA is there. So what I will do is I will give some prompt when the report is run. I will give some prompt means country is always going to be USA. That means if I have given some prompt or only the data related to the USA country will be fetched. If there is a prompt, then that particular related prompt, only the data will be fetched in your report. The same thing we have seen here. See, I will go to the prompt option because you have popped up the question regarding the prompt. Like if I'm working only on USA and I want to fetch that particular thing. So I will get that prompt. I can insert that particular prompt when I'm creating my report. So allows user to specify criteria each time the report is run. That means I know that if I'm running anything related to the payroll, I know that it's going to be USA only. So I will create a prompt country. And I will enter USA. That means every time, whenever that report will be run, it will fetch only data related to USA country only. Some data sources, you have seen that they have built-in prompt. I will show you once. I will go through the definition of the prompt because when I will switch to that remote desktop, it will be difficult for me to switch back again to this PBT mode. So on the filter and sub-filter tabs, you can control which fields should prompt the user to complete. Prompt options. Prompt the user for that. You can insert it 2 times. 2 types of prompt. Some is mandatory prompt. The data source will have some kind of mandatory prompts. Means you have to. Once you will run, click on that run option. It will pop you an option. If you have made that, for example, I'm just taking country. Country is a prompt. That means if I have country as a mandatory prompt, then without entering that country option into that box, you cannot run that report. If you haven't made that particular prompt as mandatory, you can skip it. You can directly click on and you will get the output of that particular report. That means you are able to run the report. Now, third type of prompt is few prompts are. You will see that whenever you will run the report, you will see that prompt will automatically come up. That means that are already built-in prompt means that are already delivered by, we can say that are already delivered by Workday. So 3 types of prompt are there. One is mandatory prompt. One is the prompt will be there, but it's not mandatory to enter the value. You can skip that particular. That is also known as soft prompt. You can skip that value. Either you can keep it blank as well, or you can give the value. You can ignore it. You can say that now, and the third one is already built in prompts that are already delivered by Workday. You cannot remove those prompts from the reports. So this is what you meant by prompt. For example, see here, that's why I have skipped these columns because I want to go through the definitions, then you will be able to understand it. For example, we have, let's go to the active. See this active employee report if you will. Sorry if you are going to use this data source in your report, all active employee. You won't find any built-in prompts. You won't find any pop-ups. You can simply go to the related actions and you can run that particular report. It won't give you any prompt. Either you have to enter the country or any kind of employee. Nothing it will give you. But if you will go by this particular data source, for example, this particular data source is used to face your calendar year and company. It's related to some benefit acts. In that, whenever you use this data source while creating your report, once your report creation is done, you will run the report. You will get the prompt, a kind of pop up, and it will have companies and year. You have to enter that companies and year. So companies, if you will enter companies means I want to run it for UK company or I want to run it for some GMS company. Which year I have to enter and I will enter it. Then I will click on and then only I can run it. So these here you can check for the built-in prompts. Built-in prompts means the prompts that are automatically delivered along with the data source by Workday. Just note it down or just have it in your mind. Built-in prompts means you cannot remove these prompts. Anything delivered by Workday, you cannot remove it, always remember. In report part, anything that is delivered by Workday, you cannot remove it or you cannot edit it. So built-in prompts is there. You have to enter some value. If it is not mandatory, then you can skip that. You can simply click on. But the prompts will pop up when you run the report. You cannot remove the prompts. In a standard format, can we hide any column? For example, I don't want to show the built-in prompt column or whatever it is. I just want to hide it. No, you cannot hide it. And neither you can remove it, no, you can hide it. By removing, I mean the same, only you cannot hide it as well. Built-in prompts will definitely come. Ankita in the built-in prompts, it's clearly understandable that based on the data source, only the built-in prompts are there. Because if you see the first one, calendar year and company, can you search a different one so that it is apart from this? I mean any number or anything. Number means I'm not getting it. Not this number or anything. All active employees. Not active employees because it is not having it and I'm not sure whether this is also having it or not. Termination will not have. What do you mean by that? Means no based on the first column. What are the built-in prompts that are getting? See active and terminated worker for ACRS, IRS reporting. So these are the built-in prompts here, month and company. So these are Workday delivered. But in customer reports, we cannot have built-in prompts. No, you will have it. If you are going to use this data source, you will have these built-in prompts. Oh, got it. If you are going to use this data source, then automatically this built-in prompts comes along with your data source only. Got it. See here, this is the thing. We are going to discuss it. The things that you are having in your report. See, with your relation database, you can view all these things. For example, if we are in our relation database, it's our data source. If you are viewing anything in a relation database, what view you are having it? We are calling it as report data source here. Primary business object, we are calling it as table. And then related business objects, we are calling it as child table. I'm not into that. I haven't worked in the relation database. So that's the comparison. If someone has already worked on that kind of database, you can compare it. The view option in our relation database means here report data source. If it is stable there, you can compare it with primary business object. If it is child table there, you can compare it with a related business object, and column there class report field, and then row means instance. So Workday stores your data as business objects. I have already told you. The related action column means anything that stores data. That means that's going to be business objects because Workday stores data in the form of business object. Anything that has those three dots. Three dots means related actions. You are not going to call them as three dots. It's related actions. If you are a consultant, that means anything that have those three dots related actions. It's going to be business object. That means it stores data. It has some data in it. For example, any kind of organization types or anything that has those related actions. That's going to be business object. And that means it has stored some data. So Workday stores your data as business objects. Always remember. Workday has fields and instances similar to how our database table or worksheet has columns and rows. Workday automatically links related business objects together, so no need to compare it. For example, I have assigned when I'm going to hire a worker, I have assigned location to my worker. So location is going to be a related business object for my worker. And worker is my primary business object. So something what I have related with him, I have related that particular location. So location is going to be my related business object for worker. Worker is a primary business object. So we are nowhere going to make that link. We are simply assigning it, and the linkage will automatically happen by the Workday. It will automatically be done by Workday. Always remember, we are not going to link it somewhere. It's self-understood. When we are hiring the employee, we are going to assign the location there, and automatically it will be linked by Workday. So that's what it is written. Workday automatically links related business objects together. Workday automatically links the location of the workday. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.